We're live. Welcome to Brothers from the Same Mother, coming to you with that non-Canadian tolerance water, the patriotic swill. I'm Douglas.
And
That's my
I'm Paul.
brother.
You're pointing the wrong direction. At least get it
Uh,
right. Yeah. I'm Paul. We got a good show tonight. Lots of stuff to discuss. Lots of beers to drink. We have a special guest. I don't even know if I can give him an introduction that's fitting of him. So I mean, please allow him to introduce himself. He's a man of wealth and taste. He's been around for a long, long year. Stole many man's soul and faith. Take it away, Tony.
Quite an introduction there.
Only fitting for the best.
we're going to start our own wrestling association soon. Pro wrestling.
Oh, that would be dope.
Pro wrestling.
Wouldn't it be? I've talked about doing a fight club. Let's just do like a pro wrestling fight club. It'd be awesome.
What would the rules be? You'd have to have some wild rules that are.
We would go back to late 80s, early 90s, like,
Ooh.
WWF, where we actually have an authority figure that's not a member of the McMahon family who can determine the outcomes of matches by just saying, like, The Undertaker tombstone pile drived on a steel chair that Ric Flair put in the ring. So we're having an instantaneous rematch next week on Saturday night's main event.
I have said it before. Like, if we did it, like, there's no way in hell I'd be like an actual participant, but I would totally be a Bobby the Brain Heenan. I would be like a bad guy, fucking ring manager. That I would come up with something, but that's what I want to do. I love being the fucking heel, man. That's my favorite part about doing this show is getting to be the dickhead. I love it. I love leaning into being a dick.
I think being a heel right now is the way to be right now.
Embrace the heel. I told Doug this last week. I'm like, Doug, I've decided I'm just gonna embrace the heel, and by that it just means being a straight white guy in America and doing straight white guy things in America.
Enemy number one.
Until we get another Republican in office that everybody hates the way they hated the last guy, like where it's not fun, it's not safe to be fun or have fun. I'm just gonna keep leaning into the heel. Yeah. I love it. At least for this show, it is a lot of fun, man.
Everybody's like, you got controversial views. Like, you mean everybody should leave everybody alone? You get to do whatever you want. I don't care how you live your life. Just don't tell me how to live mine. Yeah, real controversial.
Somebody's got to be the trickster. And if living your life your own way is being the trickster, then that's fine.
Fucking A, Cotton. I think starting off, this is just my opinion. You guys can do whatever you want. I think we should tell Tony's tale right away.
Sure.
While we're still sober and kind of cognizant, because I feel that if we try to tell this story when we have a few beers in us, it could go off the rails a little bit.
I'm glad I didn't.
That and if John joins, we know it's going to go off the rails. Period. So.
That's hilarious.
John is working, but I did text him, and he's like, if I get off early enough, I'll stop him. Okay.
Yeah, he told me too.
I literally have no topics for tonight other than like I knew Tony was coming on, and I knew what we were going to talk about with him, and I knew what you wanted to talk about from the week. And I'm like, oh, we're going to have plenty to talk about. Plus, we get a few beers, and I'm going to ramble anyway. The only thing I wrote down was like different names to put up in my little box here that I want to use week to week. That's the only thing I did today.
The only two things I care to even touch on and talk about is our neighbors to the north, the Canadian trucker thing, and I want to talk about how our country is wagging the dog.
Glue, 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 glue. Glue, 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 glue.
That's hilarious.
All right, Tony, take it away, man. Or Doug, do you want to introduce?
Well, I'll tell you. Well, this is how this started. Like Tony, out of the blue, not out of the blue. I mean, we text from time to time now that you're living back up here. But I would say just like one random night while I was at work, I got I should have pulled it up if I was professional. But I got a text from Tony, and it was a screenshot of a letter. You know what? Fuck it. I don't care. We're live. We could do this. I'm gonna pull up the text because I would rather not fuck it up because it really made me smile from ear to ear to the point where I screenshotted it and sent it to Paul because I'm like, Paul's gonna fucking love this, dude.
All I'm gonna say is leave out people's names and leave out the name of the employer.
Yeah, we're not talking about any of that. Not talking about any of that.
Sure, and that's a big part too. It's like I'm not trying to hide anything, but I'm also trying to not blow up anybody's spot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure, absolutely.
It's one of those things of like they have their own privacy that they, if they decide they want to address it, then that's cool. But like, I think it's a really cool thing that happened. I think it's the way America's supposed to work.
I do too. I really do, especially knowing you as long as I've known you, and just where we've come from. It's and the not just where we come from, but like the era we come from. I've talked about this before. We talked about it recently with John about the West Memphis 3 and how he informed me what was going on with the current investigation and case and all that. We came up in an era in this country where religion really had a grip on America, on especially Republicans in America. Like growing up in this country as a kid in the 80s and 90s for me was some of the best times of my life, but all I remember is Jerry Falwell, Jim Baker, you're going to hell if you masturbate. So it was crazy in that sense. And
I real quick, I just want to touch on what you just said, Doug. I got a text message from a friend today and said, Paul, these are weird times we're living in. As a 90s kid, I never thought I'd be in a position where I see Right Said Fred telling us to not bow down to the government and Rage Against the Machine pushing for the status quo of the establishment.
No shit, dude. No fucking shit, man. Like, I will fuck with the first 4 Rage Against the Machine albums till my death. They're that good, but like, dude, like we are living in banana Sam. We're living in the upside down. If Stranger Things has taught me anything, we're living in the upside down.
That's it, Doug. That's exactly why I went the route that I went in my life right now. Like with the shit that I'm dealing with, it's like that's it. Everything's upside down. Everything's backwards. Everything's twisted up. You know, you've got people who are pro-abortion wanting to coerce unvaccinated people to get vaccines. It's like, what are you talking about?
The irony. We're gonna touch on this later, I'm sure, because this is another. Now I'm thinking of topics Paul wanted to talk about, but the irony of a man
Neil Young
who wrote a song called "Keep On Rockin' in the Free World," and then uses his status to want to take away somebody else's freedom of speech is
but you know what?
bonkers,
you know what's great? You know what's great about it is what's also sad is the fact that nobody gave a fuck.
Yeah.
And that's as soon as I saw it, it just made me sad because I was like, nobody gives a fuck, dude. Nobody cares.
The same buddy that I just told you about texted me another thing, and he's like, breaking news. Nickelback threatens to release another album unless Spotify gets rid of Joe Rogan.
Dude, I got
That's a better one.
That's a great one.
Newsworthy in my book.
I just watched a compilation mashup tape that I hadn't seen in a while called TV Carnage, and they played a clip of you said Nickelback. Randomly, I'm watching this the other night, and it's just this mashup of like old 90s and 2000s like clips and stuff, like edited into a narrative. And Nickelback came on the screen next to Ronald McDonald at some kind of fucking benefit where they were raising money together. And there's a news lady interviewing Chad Kroeger from Nickelback. And she's like, so what is it like working for Ronald McDonald? He's like, Nickelback doesn't work for Ronald McDonald. We work with Ronald McDonald. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? It's weird that you brought that up. That triggered my thing. I'm sorry. But anyway, so I get a text from Tony, and it's a screenshot, and it says, Anthony, I swear I forget your name. Your full name is Anthony sometimes. Right. Anthony, your request for a religious exemption for the COVID-19 vaccination has been reviewed, and we are happy to report that your exemption has been granted. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to contact me. And then under it, he wrote, got my exemption approved. And then he sent me another screenshot, and it was a screenshot from the satanictemple.com. And it says, one should strive to act with compassion and empathy toward all creatures in accordance with reason. 2, the struggle for justice is an ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions. 3, one's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will. And 4, the freedoms of others should be respected, and then I can't read the rest of it because it got cut off. But then he wrote that. He's like, I just used the third tenet. You know, one's body is inviolable. So,
yes, sir.
So I told that to Paul, and Paul, like, it's very rare that I call
Made
Paul,
my fucking night.
You got to understand something. Everybody at this point, everybody knows me, and Paul knows me very well. So for Paul, and like Bob has said it before, like he's like, sometimes I think talking to Doug on the phone is like what is just getting Doug's inner monologue just nonstop. It's just he has to get it out. And so I can only imagine that like most of my conversation, like I see it in Paul's face most of the time. Like he's just kind of drones up like Doug's on autopilot. He's fucking high and saying whatever. I told him this shit, and it was like, I got to beat this joke into the ground. The response I got out of it, man, like it was impressive. It never happens. And he's like, I got to talk to Tony.
Tony, when he told me that, I'm not gonna lie to you, I put on my best set of knickerbockers and my triangle hat, and in front of my dogs in my living room, read the Declaration of Independence in dramatic fashion.
Yes.
I was so fucking happy. It's to the point where like. The one thing I'll disagree with you is where you said at the beginning of this
he believes in God.
You were happy about how everything played out. You shouldn't have had to do this. That's
Sure
the
enough.
biggest point.
Sure enough.
I'm happy. I'm happy you did what you did because you're basically looking at the upside down and saying, "Fuck you, I can go just as upside down too."
Yep.
And I applaud that. But the fact that you even had to do it fucking cracks me up.
Sure enough.
I don't know.
It cracks me up too,
And yes,
man.
I
And that's
do.
what I like about what they're doing. I like what Lucian Greaves and those guys are doing is that they are playing the trickster. They're saying, okay, you want to play games, you want to assume that everybody has this belief in Sky Daddy. Okay. Then we're going to use the same, principles that we're founded on is that we are able to choose for ourselves what goes in and out of our bodies. Like we don't have someone coercing us, forcing us to, you know what I mean?
This all plays really well into the whole Canadian thing. So like it really, really fucking does. Like Tony, look, first off, is there anything more to the story you want to add or you want to inject?
No, man, I think that's it. That's the main point. And I'm glad that we didn't hit it right away, that we talked about everything is in upside down world right now. Like it's just nuts because that's the point of it. That's the point of why the story even happened. And I like that you said that it should never have happened. We should not be this far. People forget what this republic is based on. We're citizens. We're not subjects to our rulers and leaders. We are in collaboration with our government.
I don't think people have forgotten. I think there's a current generation. I think as we're getting older now, we're seeing the younger generation that came up underneath us and our generation didn't really have a really great parental skill guide set. So I think you're seeing like not only the de-evolution of a mindset and a generation, but like I've watched kids around the entire world for the last 15, 20 years become this. Like that, the metaverse, I think it was you that said, or somebody said it's coming, whether we like it or not.
Oh,
but like kids want to live in Second Life. Remember when Dwight played Second Life on The Office? Like Dwight's Second Life is really much more exciting than his first life. Like that's the world these kids are growing up in, and it is like that. They just
And the one thing I want to say is, as much as we rail on the,
I didn't make any sense there.
We've got Russians and Ukrainians commenting on the video. I just noticed.
Our video?
Anyway, yeah, I have no clue what it said. I'm not putting it up because I have no clue what it says.
Oh yeah, probably.
Oh, we might be experiencing the cyber attack that's happening.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, wag the dog and whatnot. Anyway,
we're part of it.
That's how
they'll claim that they need to take this down because they found malware.
Yeah. Oh, and that's fine. That's fine.
It'll live on forever in my heart.
I planned on tonight getting demonetized anyway. It's okay, but we're not monetized anyway. So now, so
we haven't reached enough subscribers, but we're getting there.
We're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there.
We're real people doing real things and dealing with real fucking shit.
I'm quick to call out. I'm quick to call out like who I think are shitheads and have dumb opinions. I think it's also important to call out the bravery of people who are not necessarily on my side that are actually seeing reason. And I don't know if anybody saw this week. I know I talked to Doug about it. The girl who plays the Wasp on Ant-Man and the Wasp.
She was also on Lost. She was a big character in Lost. Evangeline Lilly, I think her name is.
Evangeline Lilly. She is a Democrat. She's fully vaxxed. She attended the anti-mandate rally in D.C. this week, and she's catching a lot of heat for her post. And God, if I was a professional, I'd have pulled it up so I don't steal her words. Lilly.
Yeah, really, man. You made it seem like we're gonna start doing this podcast. We're gonna do it through StreamYard. I could do all this cool shit, and then you showed me that you could do this cool shit, and then we could do the show, and you just drop the fucking ball, man. What the fuck, dude?
This is our drinking show, so give me.
Not the point, man. Not the point, man. Have a little integrity in what we do. Tony, I love that we're talking regularly, man. It's so good to have you on.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's good to stream. I think these ideas need to get out there. People need to understand that, it's real life stuff. It's not, just fantasy stuff happening in the news. People really have to deal with this. Like, why would, with all the other stresses of just life, why would we have to worry about being coerced into being a part of the experiment? It should just be a choice, and that's it.
Yeah.
It should just be a choice, because it's clearly an experiment that we're undergoing right now on the human race. And we need to be honest about it, be very clear about what's going on. Well, and not be coercing people, and not be spending billions of dollars in ad money to coerce people. That's the craziest part of my book, is like the fact that we're just spending all this money to market it. Like, we're spending taxpayers' dollars to market it is crazy.
And we're like, if you live in New York, they're paying people $100 to get the shot. That's tax money. That's all tax money, and they've already come out like people abusing it and stuff. But real quick, I pulled it up. This is what she posted this week after the vaccine mandate protest in D.C. It's a picture of her standing in front of the Supreme Court, and she's got a sign coming out of her backpack, and she's dressed down, and it says "Vax Democrat for Medical Freedom." And this was her post that she's catching all kinds of shit for. I was in D.C. this weekend to support bodily sovereignty, while Canadian truckers were rallying for their cross-country peaceful convoy in support of the same thing. I believe nobody should ever be forced to inject their body with anything against their will, under threat of violent attacks, arrest or detention without trial, loss of employment, homelessness, starvation, loss of education, alienation from loved one, excommunication from society, or under any other threat whatsoever. It is not the way. It is not safe. This is not healthy. This is not love. I understand the world is in fear, but I don't believe that answering fear with force is going to fix any problem. I was pro-choice before COVID, and I'm still pro-choice after COVID, with a whole bunch of hashtags. So I applaud her.
She said it perfectly. Pro-choice, man.
Yep.
I mean,
yep.
When the Texas
medical freedom
abortion, when the Texas abortion thing happened, I heard a lot of people get up in arms about, like, they're gonna make, this is not right. This is not right. It should be a woman's choice. And I agree. Honestly, personally, I do agree to an extent. But if that's how those same people who were saying that are the same people who are saying you need to get vaxxed, you anti-vaxxed asshole. When I hear Howard Stern say anti-vaxxers should be rounded up, should be fired, shouldn't be allowed health care, I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? As a man who's Jewish, who knows the Holocaust happened.
Well, man, he lost his punk rock card. Like, he's no longer acceptable.
Like, if you want somebody to get vaccinated, but you don't want them to get access to healthcare, like, are you fucking? Pardon my language. Are you fucking? I'm not gonna say the word. Are you fucking stupid?
I hate nothing more.
He's a part of the establishment now, though. He knows where his bread is buttered.
Yeah,
dude. Literally, remember
I hate nothing more than a shock jock or a comedian or any other entertainer who comes up and makes their millions by being edgy, controversial, saying what they want, but as soon as they get their millions, they shut the fucking door for the people behind them.
And I feel the same way about Jimmy Kimmel, man. It's just
I fucking hate Jimmy Kimmel so goddamn much. Let me tell you something. I just got done talking about that TV Carnage, that mashup thing I was telling you guys about. One of the clips that came up in that video, I'm gonna actually pull a lot of clips out of TV Carnage and send them to you guys, and maybe we can use them in a podcast in the future to show what we're talking about. But, like, literally, Howard Stern used to have a show, a TV show, not his E! show, but before that, in the early 90s, it was called the Channel 9 show. It was before he was well known, but he wasn't the king of all media at that point. The movie hadn't come out, the book hadn't come out. He had a Channel 9 TV show. I think it was one season. It was public access, and he did sketches on it. He did his radio, like a night show, talk show kind of thing, but he did sketches in it. One of the things came up on that TV Carnage video of him doing what is the lowest form race, and he had a Ku Klux Klansman with Rob in there laughing her head off, and they had literally he's sitting there saying the N-word the C word, like every racial slur you could think of. He's saying it to a guy with a white hood, and they're laughing about it. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, how does this not come back to haunt him? But like other people, that shit fucking breaks their entire life.
Because his opinions now are on the right side. All he's got to do is say, sorry, and he's forgiven. And he's forgiven because his opinions now are right.
But I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. I think the whole moving past it is a good thing. It is just peculiar that we don't allow other people to move past it. And that becomes strange. And it's because a lot of times their political views don't align with what the agenda is for, the mainstream. And that's
Alex Jones is the prime example.
Yeah.
Alex Jones is the prime example. He apologized.
They won't let it go. They won't let it go.
Yeah. And he said he was wrong about Sandy Hook. He made a mistake. He was completely wrong. No forgiveness for him. No road to redemption.
What more can you ask
Jones.
for? What more can you ask for? Yeah.
So
I mean, it's clear. It's an information war. It's a war of symbols and narratives and ideas.
That's why, kids, when you're at home, just turn the TV off unless you're playing PlayStation.
Well, the internet too, though. That's what's crazy. Is like people don't realize we're not educated as consumers about how the internet actually works, how Google actually works, how much that influences your mind. Just, hearing that podcast that Rogan just did with that Dr. Epstein, that guy is like a phenomenal researcher who's finding out things about Google that would blow people's minds. Like the fact that the search, like the recommendations, when you start to type a word in and it recommends things, the influence that has on people psychologically, like they can get people who are 50-50 to 90-10 on a political issue just from that search recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
They've got it down to a science, dude. So it's like, it's not just the TV anymore. That's what's scary about our generation is we think of it in those terms of the TV, but now it's in your pocket. Every time you look something up, you're being influenced purposefully.
Agreed. But it has its pros and cons too. If you know that, you can navigate around it. And on top of that, I think the internet provides independent media the biggest voice, to where our parents' generation were only stuck on CNN, MSNBC, Fox, and CBS, and not ABC. I think they're quality. And they you have more options. You've got out of Canada, you have Rebel News.
Our generation, we're fascinated with Google, and we're being tricked by Google in the same way that our parents were tricked by CNN.
Can I just say,
and all those big names that have an established presence in the media as like purveyors of truth, but the problem is there's been times when they haven't told the truth and they haven't accounted for that, and that's what's unfortunate, especially the stuff that's been going on with CNN. It's just crazy.
It's fucking terrible.
And our dad is diehard with that stuff.
So real quick, go ahead, Doug. Go ahead.
I'm glad the era that first of all, I'm glad that I grew up in the era I grew up in. I'm glad I grew up in the time I grew up in with the people I grew up with who influenced the stuff I love. Because honestly, I grew up to be a dude who avoided having kids, who avoided getting married. And some days it's a blessing and some days it could be a curse mentally. But overall, I don't got to worry about Google influencing me, because the worst thing they're going to influence me is what marijuana store to go to. Hey, do you want to look at Sam Keith stuff? Do you want to look at comic book stuff again? Do you want to look at I'm not even a target for people. I told you, Tony, in text, I'm like, I honestly think people think I'm, most days, people who don't really know me, who encounter me for the first time, I think they think I'm special needs. And when I can see that in their eyes, I lean into it so they don't fuck with people. Just leave me the fuck alone, man. It's an easy way to live life.
That's hilarious.
Doug knows I got rid of all social media the day after Trump was elected in 2016.
And somehow I inherited it.
The reason I did is because as soon as Trump got elected, I went on Facebook for the first time, and I saw people who were best friends fucking yelling at each other online, tearing each other apart. And I legitimately said, you know what? I'm done with this. I deleted my account. That was my connection to all my friends in the military without a thought. I have chose not to participate in social media, and goddamn, the last 6 years have been awesome for it.
Growing up, the two presidents that I remember everybody always talking about was JFK and Nixon. Those were, everybody talked about other presidents, but those were the two notorious ones. And Nixon for other reasons. I remember growing up thinking like nobody's ever going to be as bad as Nixon. And then I saw Bush, and people hated Bush, but people didn't lose their fucking minds over Bush. Trump split this fucking country open, bro. Like, we'll never have anybody that fucking crazy. Our dad, I'm sorry, like I still love my father, but he's not the same person he was pre-Trump. He's not. He's a different dude, man.
Oh no.
Did you see?
Well, and and then the influence of the internet on that. I mean, that whole from Trump through to Biden now, like how much fuckery was going on with social media, with search results. I mean, they've been doing this for a while. When I got it down to a science, dude.
But the narrative is starting to fail. Biden's approval ratings are in the 30s. Charlemagne the God, I don't know, him and Andrew Schultz's podcast, Brilliant Idiots, that came out yesterday. I don't know if you saw this, but Charlemagne the God just walked out and said, all right, I don't care anymore. I'm going to say it. Bring back Trump. I'm ready for it.
Wow.
Like, Charlemagne the God said that.
Did you watch last week's episode?
He's got 22 million watchers and listeners who are not this show's demographic. You know what I'm saying? Like, that means something when Charlemagne the God's like, all right, I'll say it. Bring Trump back. I think people are starting to wake up. Like, the right or left is not going to save you. So you got to pick the lesser of two evils. And right now we're going through a recession. Inflation is through the fucking roof. We're about to get into a war that we don't have any reason to be involved with. And what's great about it is I said wag the dog and everybody laughed at me. The fucking president of the Ukraine just came out basically and said, yeah, the U.S. is really fucking ramping this up and we wish they would stop the rhetoric. Like, they had a phone call yesterday and the Ukrainian president's like, hey, Biden, tone it the fuck down. It's not as bad as you're making it out to be.
Take your medicine, Grandpa.
Yep.
Well, it's funny. Tony touched on something that I think is pretty interesting and very poignant, where he talked about like the edge of social media with Trump in the beginning of that. And it's true. When I moved back up here, it was a year, Trump had just become president. I left Florida the end of December 24th. I left December 24th, December 23rd. I'm sorry, 2017. Trump had just become president the year before. And when I moved back here, I had Facebook, I had Insta, I had all the social medias, and I was a fucking junkie who lived his life online like everybody else does these days. And my dad fucking gave me shit. Like, you could see him start to hate Trump, but he wasn't where he's at now. But he used to give me shit. You got to get off fucking Facebook. You're going to fucking ruin your life. You're going to ruin your job. You're going to get blackballed. People pay attention to that. They'll use it against you. I got off Facebook. Guess what my dad's on all the time? Fucking Facebook.
What I'm distracted by is that logic of like accepting the fact that we live in the nightmare that they used to tell us in the 80s and the 90s that the Soviet Union was, where everybody gets dirt on each other and blackmails each other. And that was what your father just accepted as this default reality is. That's the way it is, and that's what's going to happen to you. Like, what?
FX literally made 5 seasons of an amazing show called The Americans about this fucking topic, man.
Yeah.
Russians infiltrating the country.
And it's that idea of it's okay to be watched and surveilled all the time. I mean,
it's not.
The fact that Google is so brazen that they call their business model a surveillance business model. That's insane. Like, at this point, they're influencing culture and society so much that I hate to say it, man, but it needs to be regulated heavily.
I agree
it's
with
like,
you.
Information is like water at this point. It's a resource, and we all need to have access to it. And that guy that was on Rogan Epstein, he was talking about it's actually very similar to a library, a public library. A public library just has the information available. They don't ask you for a background check to be able to look up something in the library. That's wild. That's just ridiculous. And at this point, they've grown beyond being public companies. I mean, being,
yeah, there's a point where when you work in concert with the state, like if you're fucking Mark Zucker and you're working with Dr. Fauci on what to censor and what to ban and what is considered misinformation, you become an agent of the state. Yeah, and I'm so anti-regulation. It hurts me to say that.
I know.
But there comes a point. There comes a point where you lose favor as a private company.
Yep.
Real quick, I kind of want I want to
I
segue into the Canadian story, and because this is all relevant, and I think this is probably one of the most important things going on right now. Has everybody been tracking what's going on in Canada? Has anybody
Little
got the
bit.
broad strokes?
Screw you.
So okay, I'll give you a quick rundown. So Justin Trudeau, the fearless leader of Canada, he made a rule.
Justin Brando.
Yeah, he's a walking vagina.
Let's
He
go,
made a
Brando.
law. He didn't make a law. He made I guess what we would call an executive order, a rule, saying that if you are a Canadian trucker, to cross the U.S. border for your job, you have to be vaccinated across the U.S. border. Well, obviously it wasn't working because nobody cared because the U.S. didn't have the same thing. So Trudeau backdoored in with Biden, and Biden, nobody knows this, Biden created the same rule for America. So to cross into the Canadian border, you have to be vaccinated, mandatory. Well,
that's in existence right now.
That's in existence right now. That's why the Sioux was a big stop on the whole convoy. Is because
Canada
the Sioux
Canada used to be a beautiful country.
Well,
man.
we're just telling the story. We'll get into the story.
I know, but I'm getting fucked up, so I'm going to ask a few times over and over again.
So then Trudeau said, "Well, I don't think that's enough either." So he decided to step it up a little bit, and he said, "Okay, in order to drive on Canada's roads, any road in Canada, you have to be vaccinated." I have said it on this fucking channel, and I'm pretty sure I said it on Bob and Doug Save You from Boredom's channel. But this channel, you probably haven't seen it because I think it's in one of the Lost episodes. I said this mandate shit because this all came around in October, and we weren't filming in October. But I said on one of the dark episodes, these mandates are all good and fine as long as people comply. But I said the downfall is going to be when you fuck with truckers.
Yeah, you never. I do remember you saying that.
I said once you start fucking with truckers, your big cities depend on truck drivers getting their food in and out of big cities. The majority of truckers are white, male, Christians who don't believe in the fucking mandates, and there's a lot of people to go with them.
Here's the problem with all of that, though, is I believe it was George Tenet wrote a book called The Next 100 Years. I think it was him. If he's the guy that runs Stratford, they're like a commercial intelligence operation. They do basically intelligence analysis for like corporations. You know what I mean? They have a lot of corporate.
Yeah, it was him. I got it right here. You're right.
Okay. He talks about this in there. I believe it's that book. He talks about how there's going to be a need for something like a trucker strike to usher in automation so that you can just say, all right, they don't want to do that job anymore, so let's just roll out automated trucks.
But here's the thing. I agree that might be a long game, but that can't happen right now. The technology is not there yet to automate truck driving.
You're right. That's just
it's not now.
It's what it made me think about when you were talking about that. It's like this just plays into so many people's benefit.
And that's part of the good part. That's one of the reasons that it's good that this is happening. Okay, so anyway, so there's the Canadian truck drivers in Vancouver hate this. They're very Vancouver. I'm sorry, I'm 2 beers deep now.
Vancouver.
The leader of the trucking resistance said, "Fuck this, we're done. We're gonna go, and we're gonna go to Ottawa, which is the capital, which is like 6 provinces away, which is a state, our version of a state. And provinces are fucking way bigger than states. Like every province is the size of Texas." And what I loved about, so first off, for the last year and a half, with all these vaccine mandates we've been seeing rolled out worldwide, we've watched countries like Australia, Germany, Austria bow down to these things where they're creating concentration camps to send unvaccinated people. And nobody has stood up against it. In the U.S., I'm surprised we got as far as we did. But we as American citizens have a piece of paper called the Constitution that luckily blocks a lot of that stupid shit from happening. Sometimes it doesn't succeed the way it's supposed to. Unfortunately, healthcare workers evidently don't get the same constitutional protections as everybody else, which is sad, and I hope this corrects course. But I'm so proud to see that a Canadian trucker, one guy said, I'm going to call all my trucker friends, and we're going to do something about this. And these Canadian truckers could have said, we're going to drive to Ottawa and we're going to tell Justin Trudeau that we don't want vaccine mandates in the trucking profession. But here's what I love. Here's the leader of the trucking organization giving his one demand. I apologize, the video is crunched, but the audio is good. Here's the one demand the leader of this trucking convoy wants Justin Trudeau to cave down to.
Drop the mandates across the board for every
why
go
the
through
video
audio. The one demand of this convoy is drop all vaccine mandates for every man, woman, and child in Canada. Nobody is under a mandate. If you want to get it, get it. If you don't want to get it, great.
So-
But take the mandate away. And so what happened is he started trucking from Vancouver, British. Hey now, he started trucking from Vancouver, British Columbia. He got in his truck by himself, and he took off. And people have been joining him ever since. And by the time he hit fucking Manitoba, the line was 150 kilometers long. Every underpass he goes under, every single small town. The videos aren't on YouTube. Mainstream media is not showing it, but the videos are out on YouTube, so look them up. Every single town is coming out to support him. They have a GoFundMe that they tried to cancel. GoFundMe released the money. They're at $7 million. This morning, they arrived in Ottawa. Justin Trudeau called them a small fringe minority with unacceptable views. Guess what? You can't walk freely in Ottawa. It's covered in trucks. It's covered in people honking their horns. And right now they have the logistics, the food, and the fuel to stay there for 3 weeks. Let's see how long this bullshit lasts when the elites can't eat and they can't move freely in their own fucking city.
First of all, I think that's a great point. You do realize you can control the volume of the video you're playing so you can hear what you're saying, because that was fucking loud. The music was louder than your voice, dude.
It comes through quieter on YouTube. That's the only reason I had it at
Just
halfway.
lower the volume down a little bit lower than halfway.
That's the Molson Canadian I Am a Canadian song.
Okay. Yeah.
So, my point to this is I've been watching it all day. It's fucking awesome. Canada, Canadian truckers, I support you. People are baking cookies. They're making sandwiches. Everybody's feeding everybody. Everybody's getting along. Mark my words, the media is going to spin this into Canadian January 6th.
Yeah, and that's the sad thing.
To Canada, eh?
Is that you can see there's obvious influence in the media right now, in the mainstream media. I'm talking about television, broadcast media. And a lot of times, man, it's almost like they're hijacking people's laziness. It's a laziness factor. It's not even necessarily like some nefarious overlords telling people what to do. It's more like if you make it easier to deliver propaganda, then that's what people are going to do, because at the end of the day they just want to get home to their kids and be done with it.
You don't have to get off the couch. You don't have to leave the house, man. Literally. I can watch the news on this, and I could just sit like a drone staring at this all. That's literally what it's become, man, with the propaganda and all that. That's how it's getting to. It's amazing, man. It's amazing to watch people who shit on tech, and it's fucking weird because they've made it almost to the point in this world where like you have to have one of these things. Who has a landline still? I want to know.
Oh yeah. I have a friend who just got a job and had to get in a fight with the employer about not wanting to take direct deposits because they just wanted check stubs. They were like, I just want check stubs. Just give me checks. I want to be able to track it with paper. I want to have my documentation. And the employer just like made such a fuss about it. It's like, do you understand not everybody has a phone implanted in their life? Like, not everybody's doing that.
That's the beauty of where we live, where the three of us live. The area we live in is very much that mentality. Like, I'm not going to give into. A lot of it is, I'm not going to give into that shit.
And all joking aside, culturally, in the Upper Peninsula, I think we're very culturally tied to Canada in the way we talk and the way we live.
Fucking hell, the way we eat our food, dude.
And let me tell you, man, it's hard to tell people who live in a place where they need to have a thermometer that has -30 on it as a necessity how to live their life. It's really hard to tell those people what to do and how to live their life.
Right.
Because when that shit happens, nobody's saving you. There's no big government. There's no big sky daddy. You depend on yourself. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just that old school freedom above all.
It's important. It's important to not let that go and to not forget that and to continue to teach people that, and sometimes it takes a little personal sacrifice or some risk of what people are going to think about you, but you got to stand up.
Oh yeah. And I was talking, like, there are times in this where like I felt like not going crazy, but like, am I the bad guy? Am I the bad guy? And I talked to a coworker of mine who used to be a preacher, and I was talking to him about it, and I'm like, am I wrong? Am I wrong with the way I'm feeling? And he goes, Paul, the way I've always told it was, if you're questioning it and you're questioning whether you're right or wrong, that shows that you still have a conscience and you're still trying to do the right thing.
Yep.
He goes, people who are usually wrong don't ever question whether they're right or wrong.
Yep. Yeah, and that's exactly the problem, is that we have a system, of educating young people now to where it's basically the authority figure stands at the front and throws a bunch of data at you, and then you have to retain it and regurgitate it. And we're not teaching people to question authority enough. You have to question, you have to hold to account. If an authority figure makes a mistake, the reason they're an authority figure is because they recognize it before other people and they admit it, and they show ways that it won't happen again.
And you know what kills me is like growing up in the 90s where we saw like the big LGBT movement like start and grow out of.
LGBTQ plus. Get it
My
right,
bad.
intolerable
My bad.
fuck.
And I remember as a kid believing in the tenets of everybody should be equal, including gay, including no matter what color your skin is, no matter what your sexual orientation is, everybody should be equal. And I remember people saying like, do you think I'd choose this life? Do you think I'd choose to be gay? I know that if I wasn't gay, I would live in this 90s America way easier. And that's what I want to say to people who think I should be forced to inject my body, or if I don't, I should be sent to a camp for unvaccinated. Yeah. Do you think I'm choosing to live this way? The reason I'm this way is because if I'm not, I know I could live an easy life if I was just like, yeah, get the vaccine, preach mandates, put everybody in jail. I know my life would be easy. I don't want easy because that's not who I am, and I'm not going to be true to myself.
It's not in your. You made a risk assessment for your life, and it doesn't make sense for you. That's it. End of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really how it should be, because you have to be allowed to make those risk assessments with your own body.
And it's funny you say that. Like when we did our Bob and Doug from my house in that episode, I'm pretty sure we talked about, because we went out and shot guns all day before the episode. I said the same thing, Tony. I said liberty comes with risk assessment. Like we have the freedom to go out back and pick these guns up and fire off into a wood stack. The risk we need to know is one of those bullets could ricochet off a piece of hardwood, come back, hit us in the head, and kill us. But we still have the freedom to do it, regardless. And that's how everything in America, especially America, and don't get me wrong, I want freedom for every country, but I'm a realist, and I know that there's countries under dictatorships, monarchs, that'll never have it. And the one thing we do have is the Constitution. And when you see our current politicians talking about how we need to get rid of the Constitution because it's standing in their way, that's why it's there. It's there to stop you from doing dumb shit.
Yeah. I kind of feel like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was Never mind. I'm not going to say what I was about to say. I just caught myself.
You're just mad because you want to date her, Doug.
Oh, she's like Captain America. She's like a multiverse Captain America. That's what I was going to say.
I would like
that woman is so beautiful and yet so scary, terrifying. Like
you are playing into her narrative right now.
You're like a young. If you're listening to me, AOC, you're like a young Puerto Rican Hillary Clinton. That's the road you're on.
Did you see that Thomas Stillwell joke I sent to everybody?
Probably.
It was a fake quote. It was a fake quote.
Probably. I don't remember everything I see.
It was a picture of AOC in college, and it said, "Don't let communist titties entice you."
Yeah. I did see that. I saw
Call
that.
Call me a fucking pig all you want. Girl's got some great tits. I like tits. I'm not gonna apologize for that.
No reason to apologize.
I grew up on the movie Porky's. What's more American than that? I know it's not your America, but it was my America at one point in time, where it was okay for guys to get together at school and sneak underground and look at the girls showering in the locker room. It was totally normal, and nobody said a fucking word about it.
I just realized we should start a separate YouTube. We should start a separate YouTube channel where all we do is explain plots to movies from the 80s and 90s and realize that they would never be made in modern day society.
Right.
Ever.
Or try to argue why it was okay.
Yeah.
Can I tell you, like, I've been watching a lot of old movies lately, and I'm starting to find, like, points where I'm starting, as a person, as I watch the movie, starting to go, like, oh, my God, somebody would tear this apart for this particular scene and this scene. It just boggles my mind, and I'm like, it's still funny to me. Like, Porky's, I didn't like Porky's 2, but Porky's 1 and Porky's Revenge, those are fun. Those movies, if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, even the 70s, those movies are still funny as fuck. They hold up. Not just the story, but the acting, the delivery of the performances. People lose sight of art. Art is there to entertain you, but it's also there to stimulate your mind. And I watch a movie and I get invested in the way the scene is set up, the way the dialogue's delivered, the way it's written. People lose sight of that. People start to focus on the phrase instead of the intent behind the phrase, instead of the intent behind the whole fucking story. And that bothers me, man. Porky's is, of course, it's a movie that would never be made today, and it's a movie that would never be it's a lifestyle and attitude that would never be tolerated today.
Doug, stop talking about it because you're going to jinx it because they're going to reboot it and they're going to make it diverse and not at all what Porky's was.
Do you want to know something funny? It was originally, there was going to be a remake about 10 years, maybe 15 years ago. I'd say even longer. How long's Howard Stern been on satellite? When he was still on K-Rock, right before he went to satellite, he was tagged along to be a producer with National Lampoon to do a remake of Porky's. That's where we've come as a society. Howard Stern was going to make a remake of that fucking movie, and now people who aren't vaccinated deny them health care, deny them access to hospitals, deny them access to a job, deny them access to life in general. Let them fend for themselves. Fuck them. It's a mentality I'll never understand, especially when your parents come from an era where the Holocaust was a thing, where 6 million people lost their lives. You know, it's bananas to me. It's the same with people going after Ari Shaffir and calling him a Nazi. Like, his father is a Holocaust survivor. Are you fucking stupid? Are you stupid?
Yeah, it don't make any sense.
I'm drinking water.
And it's kind of like to what Paul was saying, like, on how we're citizens. Like, we're in a republic. We have responsibility.
I love that you say republic and not a democracy, because
Yeah,
we are in a republic.
that's an important distinction.
Yep. California's no longer.
We have responsibility as citizens. You can't just lull through life and expect that daddy's going to take care of you, because that's not the way it works. That's not how nature works.
No.
I heard an interesting concept.
No,
I don't know if you guys watch Tim Pool or not, but I occasionally do.
From time to time.
And Ian, one of the co-hosts, brought up an interesting concept, and I don't think I'm for it, but it made me think. He created what he calls a direct republic, where we don't have representatives. We still have the district layout like we do. Every state still has 2 senator votes, and then you have all your congressional seats. But like, you have a voting mechanism where anytime there's something that comes up, every district votes like that day, whether it's a push button thing, an app, to where then you calculate the district votes as if there was a representative, but you don't actually have a paying representative sitting in Washington. I'm not for it, but I thought it was an interesting concept.
It's an interesting concept. He should probably avoid small aviation and hot tubs, as the guys at No Agenda say. Like, it sounds like a powerfully dangerous idea.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I would love to see you. I know I'm not smart enough to engage in a conversation about politics. I have opinions and shit like that, especially when I'm fucking drinking and I'm fucked up. But I honestly could sit and listen to you two talk on a podcast. Like, I think it would be a good show to listen to you. I really do, because you're both. Here's the thing. This is the thing that I even though I'll acknowledge that I'm not as intelligent when it comes to certain things in life, like what we're talking about, I still would rather listen and have respect and take more stock in what 2 people like you have to say, because I think anybody who's signed. No, that's not what I'm saying.
I'm a music producer. Like,
that's not what I'm saying.
I'm
that's
just
not what
a
I'm
normal dude.
You are a normal dude, but you're also a guy who served his country. Like, I take more stock in people who whether or not, for whatever reasons they've chose to do it, whether it was an easy path, whether it was something they needed to prove to themselves, somebody who's willing to sacrifice their personal life, their time, their family, their loved ones to do that I take more stock in those people than I take in politicians.
I'll fully admit I have a bias where I value an opinion of veterans, whether they agree with me or disagree with me, more than anybody. Because inherently, if you're a veteran, and I mean, if you've served a 4-year term or longer, you have been away from family on birthdays, holidays, and loved ones.
Sure.
Protecting something protecting a piece of paper. For lack of a better term, that's what you do when you serve in the military. Sure. You're saying I guarantee that the words on this piece of paper will reign true and will be supreme over the land that I come from. And
it's worth
so
risking your life for.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say I'm intelligent in politics. I'm intelligent understanding the lever of politics, like how things work. Like and I credit Schoolhouse Rock. Like my civics lessons in life, the
That's
way I
amazing.
understand
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Bill on Capitol Hill.
like nobody, it's so funny how nobody understands what the House does. Nobody understands what the Senate does. Nobody understands what the executive branch does or the Supreme Court does. All they know is like the modern left wants them to all be one conglomerate. We designed it specifically for them not to be one conglomerate. We want those three branches at war with each other. Realistically, we don't want the Supreme Court. We don't want the Supreme Court at war with the other two branches. The Supreme Court's the referee. If you think of
they're like our traditional elders, right? They have a long view and they make sure that we're paying attention to the long view.
And so here it is. The House and Senate create laws. It's their job to write up laws and how laws are written. It's the president and the executive branch's job to enforce the laws. And then if there's ever a law that comes into question, whether or not it's for or against the Constitution, the Supreme Court is supposed to make a determination on if a law is just or not. That's our system. That's our system broke down for a 6-year-old. And if you remember it that way, that's the easiest way to remember it. So when you hear about things like Supreme Court packing or ending the filibuster, like the filibuster is designed to be a wrench in the machine. That's what it's for. Our country was designed to move as slowly and inefficiently as possible. And that's a good thing. In the words of Bernie Sanders, that's a good thing. Like, it is.
Yeah,
because I'd rather have a government who can't get anything done than a government that fucks shit up.
Yep, it's true.
Put the YouTube comments up.
It's frustrating, but it's true. It can be frustrating when you see people suffering on the social side.
Yeah.
And they can't adapt to change that way. You know, the technological change, they seem to be using it for selfish, sick reasons rather than for helping people, you know?
Frank we got some more comments. Gang and government is no different. You are absolutely right. Government is the only legalized gang there is.
No shit.
Yeah, the how do they say that? It's like they're the only ones that have control of the violence, basically. I forget how Obama said it. It was a really interesting way that he said it. A monopoly on violence. The government has a monopoly on violence.
Can I, just because you invoked Obama's name, I want to bring up, I was a huge, staunch critic of Obama, but he said something in a speech one time, and I'll never forget this because I was sitting on a watch floor. In England. He was giving a speech, and he goes, "We got to curtail government spending," and that catches my ear every time because I'm all about slash the price for the government. And he goes, "Right now, if I want to know about freshwater salmon, I go to one government-funded agency to find out all the data information on freshwater salmon. Now, if I want that exact same information on saltwater salmon, I have to go to a completely different government-funded agency to get that data." And I went, yeah, that's pretty stupid, huh? I guess somebody should do something about that. I don't know, maybe like the president.
Obama.
That's my favorite Obama story.
Well,
I liked what Obama represented and what he stood for, but what he actually did was disappointing. Like they all
did nothing.
He did.
I have no. He did nothing.
He marketed himself on hope and change and positivity, and it felt like that. It certainly felt like that in the people. I mean, when I lived in Florida when he was president, like it definitely felt like everybody, like you could tell, like there were people who definitely hated him. I worked with them. I lived in Southwest Florida. I worked with rednecks, dude. They fucking hated him. But I also was surrounded by more people who loved what he stood for. But in reality, that was the surface. You know, you elect somebody on what they believe on their surface. But the game changes once they get in. You know?
Well, yeah, it's sad when it's just more of the same.
Yeah, I'm going to abstain because I'm the only person here who's ever met him and actually talked to him. So I didn't love him, didn't hate him. He was all right to me.
Was it like meeting the Harlem Globetrotters?
Huh?
What were those circumstances?
He briefed them on the existence of aliens.
I briefed him on
Illegal.
A mission. I briefed him on a mission that happened, and I didn't plan on it. I didn't plan on it. I
Nice.
walked into work and was like, "Hey, remember that report where you said the guys in DC were wrong?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Well, it turns out you were right, and the
Nice.
president and the Secretary of Defense want to know about it. And I'm like,
That's a
"Okay, cool."
experience.
I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
and I was an E4. I was an E4 at the time. I'm like, "Cool. Who's gonna do the brief?" And they were like, "Oh, you want to go home and get your dress blues?" And I'm like, "Oh,
Hey,
okay."
Nice.
when you met him, did you drink 15 Dr. Peppers?
No, but I have been drinking a lot of Dr. Pepper lately.
I know you
No, I
have.
didn't.
That was a Forrest Gump reference, though, when he met JFK.
I literally gave a 15-minute brief, and he was like this the whole time. And all he said to me was, "Thank
Thanks,
you, Petty Officer
Cracker."
Burke. Thank you, Petty Officer Burke. That was very informative, and I think I now understand the complete situation, and we'll move forward accordingly." And I said,
Nice.
And he went,
Nice.
tell your mother I said what's up.
and then I got 3 different medals for it. They literally gave me 3 different achievement and commendation medals for one thing.
That is a cool experience, though. That's another wild thing about being in the military. Sometimes that kind of stuff will happen where you're like, I didn't expect to be in this situation.
Yeah. And my job is briefing higher commanders. That was my job in the military. So, like, it was just briefing the highest person I possibly could.
So you were an analyst?
I was an intel analyst, yep.
Yeah, I was the same thing, man, on the Marine Corps
Oh,
side.
right on.
Yep.
Right on. And you only
Yes,
you
sir.
only served in Okinawa?
Yeah. Yep. I did
I
a
bet you- I
MEU.
bet you-
That was fun. The MEU was a good time, you know, especially in
Did you ever
Asia.
work with any Navy ISs? Because we got a lot of them out there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and when we were on
I
ship,
get-
that was when George W. Bush was president. We actually went to Indonesia and did presidential support when he was there, but I didn't get to brief him or meet him or anything. But
Yeah.
it was kind of cool to meet the HMX guys and all that kind of stuff.
I'm willing to bet me and you know a lot of the same sailors and Marines because
sure, yeah.
Marine Corps and Navy intel, we're the smallest job in the military. There's only
Sure.
2,000 ISs in the Navy, and I think you guys only have 1,300 intel cats
Sure.
in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
So I guarantee we know a lot of the same people.
I miss George W. Bush, man. I miss that era. I miss the Will Ferrell. Did you guys? I miss Will Ferrell's impression of him. But you
Yes,
ever
that was
watch on
brilliant.
Did you ever watch on HBO? Will Ferrell and Adam McKay did a one-man show on Broadway live and
Yep.
recorded it and filmed it
Yep.
called George W. Bush, You're Welcome, America. George W. Bush's
Yep.
Last Night. One of the funniest
Yep.
things I've ever seen.
Yep,
I
me
miss
too. I
the
loved it.
Oliver. I was so funny. I missed he gave the about the Detroit real estate. Who?
I'm assuming he's talking about Obama.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I'm not smart on politics stuff, but I miss that era. I miss my friends being up in arms about it. I remember Patton Oswalt was like getting in ecstatic at comedy clubs for his opinion on George W. Bush. I remember all these punk
Is
rock
this
bands.
pre or
Like,
post killing his wife? Allegedly.
this is pre. This is when she was still alive. This is like when 222 came out and Feeling Kind of
Okay.
Pat came out. Yeah, it was wild, man. I remember like Green Day and NoFX and all these punk bands put out like a series of CDs called Punk Against Bush, raising money to like try and like it's a wild time to live and look back at and be like, wow, how I miss those fucking times, man. Because at least in spite of the fact that we may have disagreed on shit, people found a way to just get along. Like a couple of these and a few joints, like no big deal. John, who I hope shows up at some point tonight. John, I remember times going to parties with John where John would like hold court with a room full of people who knew him, and people who didn't know him. And
They knowed him.
They knowed him, man.
They knowed him.
They fucking
That
know that
was
big
great.
time.
That was brilliant.
And I remember being at one party in Bonita Springs, and John, there was a girl that John worked with at one point at Hot Topic who brought her new boyfriend, and this guy was spouting off the mouth about why George W. Bush was one of the greatest presidents ever. And John just kind of like intelligently tearing the guy apart, like, this is why he fucking sucks, this is why. But at the end of it, they shared a beer together, shook hands, like it wasn't that big of a fucking deal, you know. Nobody jumped on Twitter, nobody jumped on Facebook. It was one and done. But I miss those fucking times, man, where we communicated.
Love him or hate him, if you were in the military when he was president, largest pay raises ever, every year.
And he created Jesus Day.
Yeah, it's like that old saying. Who was it that said it? You know, I may not agree with your speech, but I will die to defend your right to say it. You know,
That sounds like Lenny Bruce. I know what you're talking about.
Lenny Bruce is somebody, and I'll credit him to the day I die. He's somebody who I don't believe was very funny, but in context, this is a comedian in the '60s, maybe late '50s, if I'm not mistaken. And so, of course, his humor is going to go over my head. I have no context to what it was like to live back then when black people were segregated from white people still.
Evelyn Beatrice Hall.
But he did a lot for free speech, man, and I will take to the grave. I'll champion that guy for what he did. The guy went to prison for he lost his fucking mind just to be able to have the right to say what he wanted to say.
Yeah, and you know what? Like people talking about we want equal rights, regardless if you're white, black, gay, whatever. I don't care. Equal rights is what we have right now. Equal rights is we can all say what we want to whoever we want about what we want, and we have no fear of imprisonment from our government, fines, or having to worry about having our lives altered in any way. So I don't understand when people say they want equal rights. What are they referring to? What do they want to change? So like if I say a bad word that you disagree with, you want me thrown in prison? You want me fined? What happens if the shoe's on the other foot and the party that you don't like is in charge and they get that passed? Do you want to be fined for
and that is
your
the
beliefs, your sexual orientation? Like
that is the short-sightedness of our 4-year cycle, is that those little hot button topics that can keep people distracted from the real problems just keeps us on this like hamster wheel, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows that the dice are loaded.
Right.
What is it the theme song for?
Pump Up the Volume, one of the greatest movies ever made.
Well,
Christian
guys,
Slater.
I gotta actually get rolling here. I gotta go get some dinner and move on.
No problem. Thanks for joining us,
Tony.
Tony.
Appreciate the time.
Hey, had a lot of
welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome back any Saturday show. If you ever just want to pop in, say hi.
Cool.
And watch the show. God, we want viewers. Watch the show.
Please watch the show, Tony.
Just watch.
Seriously,
maybe press the like button if you think about it.
You have an open pass, man. Anytime you got nothing going on, you want to hang out, and anytime you come into town to play music with Marv, let me know, man. If I got the time, I'll go with you. I'll tag along.
Nice.
That was we talked about that throughout. I know you got to go, but we talked about that throughout the week. Like I finally got around to listening to the episode. I wasn't going to listen to it because I got so fucked up on it. And when I finally listened to it, I told Paul, I'm like, God damn it, like this is like an actual variety show. We went almost 3 hours and had people pop in, and we had
hammered drunk by the end of it.
And it was a great musical performance, man. Like it was mellow as shit. It was just relaxing. And I would love to have you come back on and do more, man.
Nice.
You should. You should.
Right.
I have fun talking.
I will.
You, so
I'll be back for sure. All right, gentlemen.
Man, have a good one.
Have a good night, man.
Good night. Enjoy.
You too,
buddy. Oh, Frank, thank you. We appreciate you watching, Frank.
I think we should keep going, and I'll text John and say, hey, we're still live if you want, because it's 8:00 now his time, so like another hour. If not, no big deal. If you want to cut it, we can cut it. I don't care, but like I can certainly keep going.
We can talk about anything you want. We can get deeper into the Neil Young thing. We can.
Yeah, why not? Who's Frank Stein, though? Do we know him, or is it...
I don't know Frank.
Okay. Hey, Frank. I don't know if we know him.
How'd you find us?
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Frank. Thank you. And thank you for interacting. Thank you for commenting. Yeah, the only thing I might have to do is just take the dogs out for like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, sure, man.
But they're not complaining.
We're still gonna end the podcast on the song that I want, though.
That's fine. I got it queued up and ready to go.
I literally have 6 beers technically, but we don't have to kill them all. But yeah, I want to say something about this song. We're gonna end the pod. Not gonna end it now, but like the song's gonna end on a song that Tony, who just left us, I believe plays guitar, produced it, recorded it, and it's a song Jason wrote. Our friend Jason Purdue, who we've talked about in the previous podcast. And I'm Bob and Doug Savior from Boredom episode 7. I think I'm turning Japanese. No big deal. Go check it out. YouTube or Spotify, iTunes, whatever you listen to it on. And the song we're going to end the podcast on tonight, not yet, but later, is a song called Brand New Satan by a band that Jason and Tony were in together called Dulcet. And it's interesting because the song was recorded 22 years ago. Literally, it was recorded in 2000. Fuck, you know what? Why we're listen, we don't have to end it on that song. I mean, we could still end it on the song, but like, you can play it right now too if you wanted to. Like, it's some of the lyrics are
actually at the end, man. We'll play it at the end.
Fine. Whatever, dude. Whatever.
We'll run it at the end.
That's fine. I don't care. I'm actually pretty sober. You know, having a tank of water to sip on in between was smart. Like I've been thinking about that consciously as I've been drinking. Is like, you know,
Where'd you get that great idea from?
I don't know, some fucking dipshit.
I think one thing I needed to start doing on the Saturday shows because of drinking, I used to get done and then I'd rewatch the show and add tags as I was watching it. I think I need to start adding tags as we go along because of the drinking.
Yeah, you should. I used to write them down as we went along. Yeah, I came up with some really funny, well, not funny, but like names I'm going to use in the future for podcasts that are fun. That's literally all I did today. I took a nice long nap. I jerked off a couple times. I played more Shadows of Middle Earth. No, Shadows of Mordor. Middle Earth. Shadows of Mordor. I think I'm almost. No, I'm not even. I don't think I am close to beating that, but I'm like advancing pretty well. I enjoy that game a lot. And yeah, I literally wrote down stupid names. Like I had nothing going on today. It was a nice wind down, relaxing day for a change. And I just got an email. Well, that's not for the podcast. I mean, never mind. That's work related stuff. I was gonna talk. I keep forgetting we're live doing the podcast sometimes.
I'll be honest. I prefer the live.
I do too. I never want to. I look. We'll talk about it tomorrow when we before we go on with Brothers from Other Mothers, which we're doing live tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. People, Bob and John will be there with us. But beforehand, we're gonna talk about Bob and Doug Save You from Boredom. But like, I it's so much fun doing things live. Like, I never want to go back. That I was telling Bob, like, we'll start doing it again. We're gonna do season 2, but excuse me, I'm burping. I don't want to go back to editing. Like, I'll edit some things. There are some things that I am going to edit. There's that TV Carnage thing I told you and Tony about today. There was clips that I was watching last night that had me dying laughing because of just the absurdity and the relevance of them both. So I was going to pull those and edit that entire hour and a half video and just boil it down to the stuff that I thought you would find really interesting and share it with you. And there's a couple other Brothers from Other Mothers podcasts that we pre-recorded. There's 2 at least for sure, maybe 3. I have to go back that we recorded, the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict and stuff like that I need to cut, and I was going to release those as like a special edition stuff. At some point,
the lost tapes.
Yeah, like a lost tapes. At some point, I'm considering creating an Audible Spotify audio account for Brothers from the Same Mother. I have not done it yet. It's as of now, it's YouTube only. And the only reason I haven't done it is because it's like, I don't want to create another email account, create a third account, like to have all these different accounts that I have to keep logging in and out of with Audible. And on top of it, I think our podcast usually runs long and a little incoherent, and it's better off as a video. I think it's a better visual experience because we do tend to have cool shit happen and stuff, but I don't know. I listen to it on YouTube, our version.
So you don't put it up in audio format?
No, we're not on audio. We're just video only. I have not
just
created
just this. We're
just this
Okay.
Season 2 of Brothers from Other Mothers that has been going up on the Spotify account. I thought I've been sharing screenshots with you guys every time I upload them, but Brothers from the Same Mother I've kept because I mean, yeah, I just don't know who'd want to listen to it because we tend to go long and we tend to get swimmy and I tend to ramble and whatever. Dude, I wore this for a reason. Number 1, because I love The Lost Boys. Number 2, because I love Bob and it's one of his favorite movies. Number 3, I fucking love Corey Feldman, even though he's batshit fucking crazy. I could do podcasts. I could do a solo podcast just talking about Corey Feldman for a fucking hour, maybe more. And he just released a box set, a literal heart-shaped chocolate box set with 5 or 6 albums, and it was all unrelated. Like there was like a new album or two albums and an EP that are brand new shit, and then like 2 or 3 albums of unreleased material, and then the entire soundtrack for Rock and Roll High School Forever, which I know you've never seen, and a lot of people, maybe Gordon Erickson. Oh, you have seen? Okay, Gordon Erickson,
I don't remember it.
Maybe I literally watched it twice yesterday. He's the only other person besides you is Gordon. I think might have watched it, but it's one of my favorite cheesy fucking 90s movies with Corey Feldman. And I love the soundtrack. Everything in the soundtrack is Corey Feldman. And I think it's Corey Feldman in the Truth Movement with like the fake band in the movie playing the actual role of the band behind the background tracks. But I love the soundtrack. It's so bad, but it's so catchy and I love it. And it's a movie that I love from my childhood. And he's releasing that entire soundtrack finally. He wants $250 for a heart-shaped cardboard box with 5 or 6 CDs. And I don't want 5 or 6 CDs. I just want the Rock and Roll High School Forever soundtrack. So if you're somebody who genuinely, that's another thing about Twitter that I think is suspect. Twitter, not just Twitter, Instagram, social media in general. There are a lot of fucking genuine, it seems like genuine Corey Feldman fans. Like, I'm a genuine fan, but I'm also willing to acknowledge that the guy's fucking has no self-awareness. He's a terrible fucking singer, but he's a showman. And there's something about him that I love. You grew up with him. You can't help but love him, you know? And there's a lot of people who are on social media who just like love him to the point where like everything he posts, like, God damn it, you're always posting the truth, Corey. We love you. Never stop being you. And it's like, dude, you guys have no self-awareness. And 9 times out of 10, it's California people who have no self-awareness. But to the few percentage of people who may have bought the box set that aren't those people that listen to this, which I doubt, but I want the Rock and Roll High School Forever soundtrack. So if you bought the box set, you're not an idiot. Kudos to you. Can I please have an MP3 rip of the Rock and Roll High School Forever soundtrack?
Lols. Real quick on a production note, I don't know what you changed in your lighting from the beginning of the episode, but however you have the room lit right now, remember that, because this is the best lighting I've ever seen for you.
It is literally just the orange light above that I never turn on because I don't like it. It's a very dreary, damp, orangey light kind of tone that sets over everything. Well, but I turned it on because I needed more light.
You have the ring light. You have the ring light too, because I can see the reflection. Yeah. I can see the reflection of the poster. Yeah, keep the ring light on.
It adds a little. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm getting better at it, especially with the blurry.
Yeah, the front of you is really clear and well lit, and then that yellow tone you were talking about in the background, it's just a nice contrast.
Cool.
I know my lighting sucks, but it's the cost of living in a trailer.
Not for long, man. One more year, buddy. Can I fucking tell you? I'm hoping one more year. We need to. When the snow melts, and I'm hoping that happens sooner than later, although I doubt it's going to happen in the next month.
We get a mobile home, we can do it this spring.
Then let's do that. And I'm saying that because,
and that's what I want to do. It's the easiest. It'll probably be the cheapest too.
I opened up my app to where I pay my rent with, and I opened it up today, this morning, and I got my credits, and it said, okay, for the month of February coming up, I'm going to owe $138. So I paid $100 because I didn't have $138 because I needed to have at least $40 or $50 to carry me through till next paycheck next week. And I paid the $100. I'm like, okay, that'll give me a little cushion then. And then I get a text from my apartment manager who says, hey, by the way, just so you know, you don't owe anything this month. You'll owe $38 next month. And I'm like, I will. And then she got back to me and she's like, oh, no, you're not going to owe anything for this month. She's like, it shows that you paid. You didn't need to pay. And I'm like, I wish you would have told me that because the app reflects it differently. I took a screenshot and sent it to her. And she's like, oh, yeah, they just told me that. They just got a hold of me and told me. And I'm like, communication skills suck, dude. So I'm ready to get the fuck out of this place because I am tired of fucking being broke because of this place. Yeah, like, it wasn't that way until like September. Then I started fucking draining through all my savings.
Needless to say, after the last week with the septic, I just... because I heat this trailer. It's harder to heat a trailer because there's not as much insulation. So I heat with gas and electric. I have to have both. On negative 30-degree nights, I need both.
Sure.
And I just had to fill my tank up. They filled it halfway up, 50%. That was $575. Granted, that half tank will last me like 5 months. Mm-hmm. But then the electric bill for this month was $387. I just got that today.
Yikes.
Well, I mean, it's because I live in a trailer. It's the cost I pay, but I don't pay rent. I don't have a rent bill. I don't have a water bill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, ready to get out of it. So what else we got going on? Read me some news topics.
I watched the new Spider-Man this week, and I watched the new episode of Peacemaker. So we can definitely delve into those two subjects.
Bring me up. Okay, let's start with Spider-Man. Get that out of it because that was a movie I did not like the first time I saw it. And then the second, the third, the fourth, and now the fifth time that I've seen it, it certainly has things about it that I'm not I don't give a shit about.
It's called No Way Home, right?
Yeah.
I'm just putting the tag in right now.
Overall, I think it is a sublime film. I love the credits, the end credit sequence with Tom Hardy and Venom, and it's unfortunate because I don't think there's a lot of people, especially a lot of MCU fans, who are going to understand it because I don't think a lot of MCU fans give a shit about the Sony Marvel stuff. And I say that because I've watched all of it. I've watched the first Venom. It's a tough movie to sit through. And I love Tom Hardy, and the people that are involved in the movie are the same people that are involved with Tom Hardy throughout a lot of his stuff. Like his FX show Taboo.
Hey, real quick, I'm going to be here. I'm just going to take the dogs out,
Sure.
but I'll be off camera.
Sure.
But I'm going to be listening.
His FX show Taboo I'm hoping it comes back for a second season at some point. It's been off the air for 3 or 4 years now. And they keep talking about needing to get schedules together. But Taboo was fantastic. And almost a lot of the people in that show were involved in the Venom movies. As far as like actors and shit like that go, people that he works with, people you'd recognize. The guy who plays Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire, he's a big part of the Venom movies. And he's also in Taboo. And I think he's like really good friends with Tom Hardy in real life. But anyway, the first Venom movie wasn't that great. Venom Maximum, or whatever the Carnage, Let There Be Carnage, I call it Maximum Carnage. That movie with Woody Harrelson as Carnage, Cassius Clay or Cletus Clay, I find very entertaining. Like, it's not a good movie by any stretch of measure, but it's good on the terms of like Crank was good. Like, it's just a crazy balls to the wall, really cool action movie with some great performances, not a lot of great story, not a lot of great dialogue, good special effects. And it's certainly much more of a starting point, a jumping off point for people than the first Venom movie. Leaps and bounds more. And I don't think people are going to I don't think a lot of people will get the end credit scene for No Way Home, because I don't think a lot of MCU fans, like I said, fuck with the Sony Marvel stuff. And that's exactly what that end credit scene was. And it's opening up the idea that there's going to be a new trilogy. There's going to be a new Sony Spider-Verse trilogy with Tom Holland, that there's going to be a Venom crossover with Tom Hardy, that there's going to be an Amazing Spider-Man 3 with Andrew Garfield. For fuck's sake, thank God. Like, dude, the first Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, Mark Webb's movie, is a good movie. Story-wise, it's a fantastic story. I'm not overly fond of the suit and the black eyes. I'm not overly fond of the CGI and the use of the lizard. I could give a fuck less about Kirk Connors, to be honest with you. I know it was the focal point for Todd McFarlane's epic Spider-Man Tourman book, but I could give a fuck less about the lizard. The Vulture has always been my favorite, and I got a great Vulture with Michael Keaton, thankfully. That said, I love the first Amazing Spider-Man. The second Amazing Spider-Man is dog shit. And it's dog shit, unfortunate dog shit, because it's got such an amazing cast, such amazing fucking rogue gallery of villains, such an amazing upgrade to the suit and the way it looks in conjunction with like the comic books and Ultimate Spider-Man. Fucking Paul Giamatti is the Rhino, and they dropped the ball. Like, it wasn't the performances, it was the story, it was the execution. That movie sucked. And the fact that with his performance in No Way Home totally redeemed it. Like, I didn't give a fuck about Jamie Foxx's Electro still. Even though, like, it looked much more comic accurate, I didn't give a fuck about the character. But Andrew Garfield, his performance, leaps and bounds sold me. The way you saw the absolute heartbreak, pain, and just thank fucking Christ look in his face when he caught MJ and like when she's like, "Are you okay?" Like, knowing that he didn't fail her the way he failed Gwen. Like, I'm like, fucking give the motherfucker a third Amazing Spider-Man. I am fucking in, dude.
What was the only part of that movie that I text you and sent you a picture and said, "Oh my," I'll get into my opinions about the movie here in a little bit. But to the scene, that part Doug just talked about is my favorite scene. I'm an Andrew Garfield fan as an actor.
I am too.
And I'm a fan of his as Spider-Man. I thought he did a really good job as Spider-Man. I thought it was underrated. And in this movie, spoiler alert, by the way, when he saves MJ in a practically exact same scenario that he lost Gwen in his universe in, and he caught her. And that look on his face was the best redemption arc for a character in a post phase 4 of the MCU.
I started crying my eyes out, dude. Like, the look on his face, like,
it was his look. It was his look that sold the moment. It was like, as an actor, without saying any words, just the look on his face. His look said, "I did it." Like, yeah. Because the hero, I maybe have not saved my girl, but I saved this Peter Parker's girl.
What I like is, like, the hero is always stoic. The hero always is brave. And in that scenario, it was that vulnerability on his face that like, are you okay? When he's like, I'm just happy I didn't fail you. Like that look of gratefulness that she's still alive. Like, yeah, you're right. It's the way he sold it, dude.
Bravery is not getting knocked down; it's getting back up.
And not all heroes wear capes.
All right. So my opinions of the movie.
Yes, because you did say it was good, not great. When you texted me, we haven't talked about it.
I thought it was really good, not great. And now that we're ushering in the MCU,
Before you continue, good, not great. In conjunction with, how would you rate it with the previous two films? What would your order be for what you liked?
the first one, this one, then the second one,
Me too.
and that gets into it.
Hashtag me too.
I've had a real hard time post Endgame with the MCU. I understand what they're doing. I understand what they're doing. I understand that they want every lead in every Marvel movie to be a female, and they're going to rewrite the MCU to be more diverse and more gender, and that's fine. I have nothing wrong with that. I'm not hating it, as long as the writing and the performance are there. And what I've seen so far, it's not. It's just something changed. Something in the sausage recipe changed. And I'm not saying there can't be a good female lead. That's not what I'm going to say at all. But for some reason, they haven't hit it yet. And they haven't done it yet. I'm sorry.
I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. They dropped the ball with Black Widow, especially. Like Captain Marvel was a comic book I loved. I'm sorry, Paul. Go ahead.
The second Spider-Man came out post Endgame, and it didn't capture me.
Far From Home?
Whichever one with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I like that movie quite a bit, actually.
It's my least favorite of the three. It was okay.
It's my least favorite of the three as well, but I certainly don't hate it. There's a lot more I love in that movie than I do in most. But I'm not saying the best.
I'm not saying I've hated anything that's come out post Endgame. I'm just saying something's changed. Something's changed where it's not a blockbuster feeling anymore. Anyway,
how you doing, Sweepy?
They're fighting over a bone. Boots is on the bottom right there, and that's Bandit, and they're literally at a deadlock, holding a bone in each other's mouth. Anyway, this one was definitely the most prosperous post-Endgame movie I've seen. Things I liked. I like how they brought the Sony universe into the Marvel universe, and it's now one. I respect it. I think I'm a very huge Tobey Maguire critic, and I was a very huge Tobey Maguire critic as Spider-Man. And I know me and Doug differ and disagree on this, but I was not a fan of Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man.
We're from two different mindsets, different eras, though, too.
Yeah.
I love Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
I enjoyed Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man performances. I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. My big issue. Let's get the bad out of the way. The big issue is the whole movie centers around Peter fucking up. And if you don't believe that, you don't buy that. Without Peter without him making one horrible fucking decision, there wouldn't have been a movie. There wouldn't have been a movie to be had. And that's the part I didn't like about it. I thought the plot was too holy. It was too... God, this was really stupid. Anybody can see this is stupid. It's really not that Bible that somebody would make this catastrophic of a mistake. And it's not that he made the catastrophic mistake. It's that once he found out he made the catastrophic mistake, he could have literally pushed a button and ended it. Now, granted, I understand the whole caring about people's lives and multiverse, blah, 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 rehabilitation.
I know, man. People are overrated.
Yeah, like, to me, the plot was so lacking. That's the part I didn't like. With that said, I think the last 30 minutes of that movie were absolutely fucking fantastic.
Poetry in motion, brother.
Yeah, the last 30 minutes of that movie saved the previous 2 hours of it. And Tom Holland knocked it out of the park in his performance. Andrew Garfield knocked it out of the performance. And to me, the star of the movie was Tobey Maguire. And I'm not a Tobey Maguire fan, so trust me when I say that I thought Tobey Maguire did a fucking fantastic job.
I remember telling Francesca and John Eloff, who are two people, for people who don't know, they're two people who've known me and Paul since we were born. They've been, not Francesca, John has. John's known both of us since we were born. John has been a lifelong family friend. He's like another brother as far as I'm concerned. And we talked, we talk a lot about Marvel. We're big Marvel fans, and they're Disney nuts and that. And anytime Marvel releases something, we constantly we text back and forth and shit. And I hit a pothole, buddy. Refresh me. What was I talking about? Marvel wise.
Spider-Man. I said the last 30 minutes were a masterpiece.
I said to them, thank you. Sorry. I forgot.
Whenever you get lost, just read
boy.
this. Whenever you get lost, just read this to me, and I'll come back to you.
I lost an ice house pothole there.
Saturdays, brothers from the same mothers. Every episode is like The Notebook.
No, it's not going to be like The Notebook. So I texted with him, and I said, one of my favorite parts of this movie was Tobey Maguire. I'm like, it was almost like this elder statesman, and both of I think it was like Francesca was like, I didn't see that at all. I didn't get that at all. I loved Andrew Garfield far more, which I agree. Andrew shined in this movie. If I'm being honest, he's my least favorite Spider-Man. He fucking quickly rose the ranks in this movie just on his performance alone, and not just his performance, but knowing that version in that universe is now canon with Marvel's universe, and knowing that person went through all that still and churned that performance out, it's fantastic. But I said that I love.
I want to say of the three, he's the actor of the three.
He's the Oscar winner.
He's the
so
actor
Toby.
of the three.
Toby and him are both Oscar winners.
Toby's hit or miss, man. Toby's hit or miss. The Cider House rules.
Very much so. It's that's a movie. One of the few. It's funny. I haven't actually bought a movie. It's kind of depressing. I haven't bought a movie, DVD, an actual DVD, Blu-ray, or 4K in so long. Everything for me is streaming now because it's convenient. But I have Cider House Rules on Blu-ray as well as The Amazing Spider-Man. And if you think I'm not watching them tomorrow, you're out of your fucking mind. Like, I'm so excited to go back and watch those now. But regardless, what I was saying to Francesca was like one of my favorite. When I first saw the movie, I didn't care for it. It's the same with Ghost. It's reversed with Ghostbusters Afterlife. The first time I saw it, I loved it. Second time, third time, man, I fucking hated that movie. But with this movie, the first time I saw it, like my first reaction to it was, God damn it, Tobey Maguire is amazing. Like and it's not that I think he's a great actor. I loved the way he portrayed his version of Peter Parker. That's the thing I loved. You got to understand, for people watching, I grew up on my version of live action Spider-Man up until Tobey Maguire was only the 70s TV show and the Japanese made movies that you'd get on bootleg at comic conventions. Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi, like to have Sam Raimi, forget that. To have Sam Raimi as writer and director of Spider-Man was it was a big thing in the early 2000s for a guy like me. Like, I grew up on Evil Dead. That's, to me, CGI will never be acceptable. It's practical effects. I grew up on rubber poop monsters. That's the shit I love, dude. And Sam Raimi came from that stock, and he brought Bruce Campbell with him in all the Spider-Man movies. Regardless, Spider-Man 1 came out, and I'll admit, Paul and I have seen Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 in the theater together. I have stories of you and I seeing all three of them together. The first one, you were probably way too young to remember. Maybe you do, I don't know. But I remember really loving that movie, but truly disliking the fact that Green Goblin looked the way he looked. I'm like, of all the choices you could have made for a character and how to produce the costume, like, to not even give it any purple, like, it bothered me. It fucking bothered me. But Spider-Man 2, I would wager, is one of the greatest, never mind the greatest superhero movies. Spider-Man 2 is one of the greatest dramatic films, I would say, ever made. It's a beautiful film. It's beautifully acted. It's beautifully written. It's beautifully produced. The performances, the story, the message, the moral. It's a wonderful film.
I remember them by bad guy. Who's the bad guy in that one? Was it James Franco?
Alfred Molina. Alfred Molina's Doc Ock.
Okay.
James Franco did not find out who Peter Parker was until the third one, and which he became like a pseudo hobgoblin, or even then it was Goblin 2.0. Along with Topher Grace's shitty fucking Venom. God, I have to watch that movie. And I say I have to watch that movie because I literally haven't watched it since it came out. But Spider-Man 3 is going to be like my cross to bear this week. I am going to rewatch it, and I'm going to report back next Saturday on what I think of it compared to the fact that I haven't seen it in almost 15, 20 years. But I remember.
And I also want to say Willem Dafoe once again proving he's a national treasure.
Dude,
The guy doesn't know how to hit anything but home runs.
That's what I was going on. That's where I was going with that. Like, I hated his fucking suit in the first movie. I fucking hate. It was the only thing about the first Spider-Man movie that I didn't like was the Green Goblin's the way he looked. And Kevin Smith, love him or hate him, said it perfectly. It was like watching two action figures just being hammered together with two fists because you couldn't see the emotive expressions. You didn't see Spider-Man's mouth moving. You didn't see his eyes moving because Tony Stark was a footnote in those movies. You know, he not even a footnote, didn't exist. So you didn't have the technology. You just had a kid from Queens or Bronx. I'm sorry, not Queens, Bronx. Creating his own costume, however it was.
No, Peter Parker's from Queens.
Oh, you're right. Captain America's from Brooklyn, not Bronx.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the wrong one. Dude, I'm drunk. Sorry.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with you about comics.
But one of the things you could. I'm sure I'm wrong on some points, but what I loved about No Way Home, as far as like redeeming that aspect of those movies, was how they portrayed Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. Like the fact that you got to see him. The way the green and finally the purple kind of like made the way they made it make sense. Like that was the biggest thing that pissed me off. Not so much that stupid fucking helmet that he wore, but like Green Goblin's got to have some purple. It doesn't have to look like a fucking goblin, but he's got to have some purple to the green. It was very bizarre, but I love that they fixed that. I have no idea where I was going with that. I'll let you continue. I liked Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, and that's pretty much we've delved into everything I thought about. I think it's the best Marvel movie post Endgame.
What has come out post Endgame besides that? Because
Scarlett
you haven't seen all the Disney Plus shows.
What's the Scarlett Johansson movie?
Black Widow.
Black Widow. I've seen a lot of the Disney Plus.
Because I will say this, Paul.
I watched Winter Soldier or Captain America.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. And Loki, I would argue, are
Loki was fantastic.
Good. Just
Loki,
as good post Endgame.
Loki was okay. Two different scales. We're talking TV shows and movies.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Fuck you. No, they're not. There may be TV shows and movies, the long format versus a short format, because one's an hour and a half to 2.5 hours. But they're the same story in the continuity, man.
I agree. I agree. What I'm saying is a TV show is more like an 8-hour movie than it is a 2-hour movie. I'm talking about just the cinematic universe. I'm not, but the TV show, I thought Loki was fantastic. I enjoyed WandaVision.
I would argue that those shows are cinematic.
Sure, fine. I'm not gonna. I won't argue with it. But what I'm saying is, it's a different scale in my mind. Okay. Like I wouldn't if I said post Endgame, I'm not talking about the shows. Granted, they play into the overall arching storyline, and we can discuss them separately. Like, what is the best show to come out since then? And I will say it's Loki. And I've seen Falcon and Winter Soldier. I've seen Loki. I've seen WandaVision, and then I skipped. What's the other show? Hawkeye.
I'll tell you what, if I'm being completely honest, as somebody who loved the Daredevil Netflix shows, I think as somebody who loves the MCU.
Hold on. We have to raise the IQ level a little bit. Welcome, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Hola. ¿Qué pasa, señor?
How's your night going, brother?
I got a hoodie on. It's fucking cold.
I heard it was supposed to get to 32 in Fort Myers.
Yeah, 32, possibly 30.
Oh, wow.
But you want a pro tip? Don't let your shit pipe freeze.
I don't have a shit pipe. But,
yeah, you do. Everybody's got a shit pipe.
Yeah, I don't think it'll freeze, though.
Can I tell you?
There earlier.
I'm glad. I tell you, I'm glad that Bob jumped on because I was getting dangerously close to the point where I'm like, I got to call it a night, man. I'm too hammered. Now I could just sit back a little bit, drink some water, and enjoy myself.
Well, you only got me for a few minutes before I picked up this person. But,
thank you for whatever we get you. We're just talking post Endgame. I watched the new Spider-Man movie. I said it's the best post Endgame MCU movie that's come out so far.
It is.
And me and Bob agree.
Look, it's not that I don't agree, but I also don't. But you said post Endgame. I just don't quantify the movies and the Disney Plus shows as two separate things because they all exist in the same world. That's how I look at it. To me, Hawkeye is just as good.
I haven't finished Hawkeye yet.
So good.
I haven't even watched Hawkeye. The only show that if I put movies and shows on the same scale, the only show that would even be in contention to being better than the new Spider-Man is Loki.
Loki.
I don't know, man.
I enjoyed Loki for what it was.
Yeah,
I did too.
and I'm not going to say Loki's better than the new Spider-Man. I'm just saying it's the only show that would be in contention for better than Spider-Man.
You haven't seen Hawkeye though either, and I'm not saying that Hawkeye's better than Loki or better or as good as Spider-Man. I'm saying, as somebody who knows you,
the first episode has some amazing editing. That's for fucking sure.
as somebody who knows you, Paul, and knows I don't know. I just genuinely think you like Hawkeye. To me, reminds me of like Marvel trying to make Home Alone. But just as cool as fuck. It's such a cool show, and it incorporates the Netflix Daredevil show. That's what I really loved about it.
You know what else incorporated Netflix's Daredevil?
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert!
And that got me fucking titillated, because if we're going to talk about all Marvel shows, Daredevil and The Punisher were probably my two favorite.
Punisher's maybe my. I love Daredevil, but it's tough for me because I love Daredevil and I love Punisher.
I was
Punisher's so
glued.
good.
I was glued to Netflix when those shows came out.
Season 1 is so good.
I love Punisher season 1, season 2. I wasn't huge on.
I agree with Bob on that. Season 1 is almost perfect. And it's John Bernthal's performance that did it.
Right. That's what makes that Punisher show to me. The guy
That's
who
why-
played Jigsaw, whatever.
Oh, John Ralphio, number 2.
Yeah, didn't really do anything for me.
Sapper Steve.
But
Money daddy.
So how was business tonight, Bob?
Oh my God. I
Okay,
hope
we'll
he's
just go fuck ourselves, Bob. Now I get your name. Oh, you're
Oh, there
back.
he
What's up?
I said, how's business tonight?
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi. Oh, it unsynced with his car. We were talking to him through his car. That's why he could hear me. And it unsynced the audio from his car, I'll bet you. Oh, well. He's got to pick up somebody. It's okay. So,
Whew.
yeah, you saw that, and then you saw Peacemaker.
Yeah. Peacemaker, it's getting better as the season goes along.
First episode, I said this. The first episode is okay. It's a little bit of a drag, but God damn it, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, it just keeps getting cooler.
I gotta wonder if they filmed these episodes in order, which is not uncommon for a TV show, but usually with a streaming, like I think they actually film these in order because as it's going on, you can see the cast getting more comfortable with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought the first 2, maybe even first 3 episodes, it was very much, look at me, I'm John Cena playing Peacemaker. And that's how it felt. It felt like I'm John Cena playing Peacemaker. Now, as it's going on, and I think the cast is getting more comfortable together, I'm the Peacemaker. You know what I mean?
Hey, a lot of ladies here tonight. What do you think John Cena's up to?
my thing, the funniest part of this last episode that literally had me fucking crying laughing is when him and Diebeard were arguing about framing his father, and he's like, "Who else was I supposed to frame?" And he just starts naming off every celebrity ever to exist in Hollywood. And when he got to Bill Cosby, he's like, "Bill Cosby's got a lot of time on his hands. You could have framed him." Like, I lost my shit.
I would. Wow, Bob is loud. Wow.
I'm loud.
Yeah, you're really loud.
Reverbing.
There we go.
That's
Now
better.
it's not so bad.
Whatever you
That's a
just
lot
did is
better. Yeah, not bad now. I would argue that as much as I enjoyed James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie, I mean, it's not a great movie by any stretch. It's certainly not as good as Guardians, but it's not a bad movie. Peacemaker is it's weird. You take a dickhead character throughout that movie, and you figure who'd want to watch a TV show about him, and you fucking it's better. It's so fucking entertaining.
To me, the shining star of this show is the actor that plays Vigilante. I don't
He's
know who
awesome.
he is. I don't know who he is, but he just created his meal ticket with this show. He's gonna get so many jobs from this, and the chick who plays hardcore is so fucking hot.
The guy who plays Vigilante was recast originally. I forget the actor's name, but okay, the new Matrix movie. The guy who plays the new version of Smith. That guy was originally supposed to be Vigilante. He was in an HBO TV show called Looking, and I loved Looking. Looking was a 2-season TV show, and then HBO gave it a movie to make like a 3rd season to end it. But Looking was about gay guys living in San Francisco. I know what the fuck would I love about it, but it's an entertaining show. It's a well-written, entertaining show, and he was the main star of it.
Dude, you gotta explain to me. I thought Queer as Folk was a great show.
Yeah, good shows are good shows. Good stories are good stories. I don't give a fuck. But he was supposed to be Vigilante, the guy who was the main star of Looking, and then they for whatever reason he dropped out or something happened, and they recast it. And I agree with you. The guy who they recast it with is so fucking.
I looked into it,
fun
and
to watch.
when they did the recasting, do you know who the main reason he got the job belongs to?
Mm-mm.
Elizabeth Banks.
Is she a producer on the show?
No. James Gunn was talking to his friends like, hey, I got to recast for this part, and I want to find somebody. And Elizabeth Banks texted him and was like, hey, you want this guy. She worked with him on another project. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. And he sent out a tweet to Elizabeth Banks after filming with him and hiring him. She goes, I want to thank Elizabeth Banks because she knows I don't work with assholes, and she recommended the best person for Vigilante because he is not an asshole. And I think he's fantastic in this fucking show.
I agree with you. I love the guy. I love the fact that he's bringing like this portrayal of a very clear serial killer, a guy who enjoys killing people.
Not even hidden.
But
with a smile on his face.
But just like such a pleasant array. Like if you didn't know that he could fucking murder you at any second, like you'd be like, this is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Like he's so good at it, dude. So good. And I'll tell you what else. Robert fucking Patrick, the T-1000 as the White Dragon is so fucking good, dude. Like the hair, the fucking attitude, and the fucking opening of the Peacemaker is one of the coolest openings to a TV show, dude.
Robert Patrick was on a TV show about a U.S. and it lasted like only one season, and it's a shame because it was such a good thing. What happened was he was the captain of a nuclear submarine, and there was a wag the dog type situation, and they ordered him to launch a nuke on a small country. Mm-hmm. But they did it with the intent of blaming him so that they could divert from what was going on with the president scandals. They could blame the submarine captain, like he went rogue and did it, and he realized it, so he didn't do the launch, and then he actually went rogue. And him and his crew were all on board. It was a really good show. God, what the fuck was the name of that?
Look it up, dude. You have the you have.
I'm looking it up, dickhead. I'm looking it up.
We have the technology. We have the tools.
Last Resort. It was called Last Resort.
Last Resort.
Yeah, and here's the synopsis.
You want to know what else it's called?
An American military drama aired on ABC. When a crew of the U.S. Navy Ohio-class ballistic submarine Colorado picked up a Navy SEAL in Pakistan, Colorado receives a nuclear ballistic attack. But it's a good show. Watch it.
It's a good show. Just watch it.
Daddy's had a few drinks.
You know what else? You know what else was the Last Resort? National Lampoon's Last Resort 1 and 2, featuring Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. Just another awesome, useless fact that I happen to know, that if it ever came up on Pop Culture Jeopardy, I would probably be awesome at it.
We should do like a Jeopardy. We had fun that one time doing that virtual Jeopardy, and now that I have better internet,
and we just
need to do that for an episode.
We need to come up with a cool format, with a cool app to use.
Dude, there's so many online Jeopardies, like for any subject you want. Like I guarantee I could Google Rock and Roll Jeopardy right now and find a Jeopardy board.
So do it. Prove me wrong. Fill time, motherfucker. I did text John and said that we're still live, FYI. So
did he respond back?
Not yet, but I texted him like 2 seconds ago, and he works till 9 his time, which is like 15 minutes away. So yeah. Oh, he just texted me. Hold on. Let me get that shit going, and I'll hop on for a beer. So We are in business.
How many teams do you want to play with? 2 teams. Start. Well, I gotta share this on the other screen, so stop sharing.
Okay.
Share screen. Tabs. Share.
Do you use it? Oh wow, that looks cool as shit. Do you?
No.
Do you? I forget what I was going to ask you. I'm fucking toasted, John. Fucking John. He's going to be joining us soon. He's getting ready to fix a meal, and once he's done with that, he's going to jump on and have a beer with us. So
All
we
right.
now have to stay.
So I say we do this turn-based, and since I'm going to be at the severe disadvantage here, I think I should be able to get to go first. You get it right, you get to keep going. You get it wrong, the other person gets a chance to pick it up.
Okay, what are we doing though? What is this? What kind of Jeopardy is this? Rock and roll? Okay.
Yeah, rock and
good.
roll. You should have the advantage here.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. No, I doubt I will, Paul. I'm so fucking toasty right now. My
right.
brain doesn't work real
I'm
well.
going to do
And I just
hairband
pissed
for
on myself.
500. Which album from Poison was the first to be involved in a controversial over-the-cover? I'm gonna guess Every Rose Has a Thorn. I don't even know if that's the name of an album.
That's first of all, that's a single off the album, and you have to phrase it in the form of a question. What is?
What? Who is Every Rose Has its Thorn?
Not who, what, dumbass.
No, that's not the rule. The rule is the answer has to be in the form of a question. Doesn't say you have to be grammatically correct.
Yes, it does.
Okay, am I wrong? Do you know I'm wrong?
I do know you're wrong from
what's
years of
your
watching
answer?
the show. My answer is that's a lot right there, man.
Okay, what's your answer to this?
Oh, I actually don't know. I don't care a fuck about Poison.
Okay.
So I don't have the
I-
answer for it.
How do I show?
I feel so much better now. I feel lighter. I feel like I could take on
Reveal
a
the
couple more
correct
beers.
response, press spacebar. It's open up and say ah.
Poison.
Okay.
Hey, oh my God, we should do karaoke when we're done with this. We bring up some karaoke stuff on YouTube and sing karaoke.
We'll do that on a different episode.
Please
I'm
let
not
me do
down.
one. Let me do one at least on the way out. Never mind, we don't have to. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll do that on a different episode. We'll
Ruin my
plan
good
for it.
fun
All right, I'll do For the Ladies for 500.
for the ladies for 5.
This 70s rock band featured 2 sisters, Ann and Nancy Wilson. Heart?
I'm gonna. Okay,
Is that do you have an answer?
I do, but but that's not how Jeopardy works. You have to answer, and if it's
Yeah,
wrong,
but
then
we're not gonna do it that way. 'Cause
Okay.
We can't tell if I'm wrong or right beforehand. What's your answer?
Oh my God, damn it! It was just in my head and I lost it. Fuck, because it was the 2 of them and somebody else. I can't think of the name of it now.
Well, I was thinking it was Wilson Phillips, but I
That's
know
what I
that
thought. Yeah, absolutely.
it's not
Okay,
Wilson Phillips because it doesn't have the Phillips.
Okay.
So I'm going with Hart. I know I'm wrong, but if it's Wilson Phillips, I'll give you the correct answer.
I don't care. It's all right.
Oh, I got it! Let me add 500.
Look at you all excited like a little kid.
I guessed on it. I knew there was an Ann Wilson in Hart. I didn't know if her sister was Nancy. All right, so I got that right. Let's go.
Arms tonight.
Let's go. Song titles in cities for 500.
It just got really cold in
Popularized
here.
by Johnny Cash and June Carter. This tune involves a married couple looking for Jackson. The answer is Jackson. Do you dispute that?
No. I'm going to Jackson.
All right.
It's
I'm
where
going to do Who Made Who. I'm assuming this has something to do with the.
Why do you keep going for the highest ones? Why don't you start
That's a
out
Jeopardy
small?
strategy. The Jeopardy strategy is always go high first.
I know. Okay.
Before David Coverdale was wondering if Is This Love, he was the lead singer of this band in 1974. Is this love that I'm feeling? Ah, God, band in 1974.
Yeah, I don't have nothing.
I'm just trying to think of a big 70s band.
I've gotten big Bee Gees. That's all I can think of. Or Kiss.
I'll say Casey and the Sunshine Band. knowing it's not right.
Humble Pie.
Is that what you want to be your answer?
No, I don't have an answer. wouldn't know this.
Okay.
I'm not going to put stock in it.
Deep Purple.
Bah, 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 smoke
And
on the
I'll close
wall.
out the last 500 with Dance. What song released by Billy Ray Cyrus taught the country Boot Scoot Boogie? Do you dispute?
Nah, go ahead.
Oh, achy breaky heart.
It's funny. It's funny because I'm so fucked up in my head. I was thinking, I was like, don't. That's the first thing that popped in my head, and you're like, "Do you dispute?" And I'm like, "No, I'm too fucked up to argue with you."
Okay.
That was right.
You don't have to argue.
I know. I got to remember that. I need to get
I'm
more
gonna go
water
back to
soon.
I'm gonna go back to song titles and cities.
Okay.
Written about a fan that was killed in a car accident on his way to a concert featuring this group. This tune appeared on the album. Well, I was supposed to get first answer because I was still winning.
Go ahead. But what is Kiss? I don't care.
I'm gonna say what is Kiss. We had to guess the
same
name, so
band, same album.
Nobody gets the points.
Oh, I didn't read it right. It was on the album. Okay, I didn't read the. I'm sorry. I didn't read the question right.
It's
That's
okay.
my fault.
It's okay. I'll do hair bands 4. What band recorded an album named after the state they grew up in? I'm going to guess Kansas.
Well, you go ahead. I don't have an answer to guess but I will say Kansas is not a hair band.
Yeah, I know it's not Kansas. Hold on. Yeah, I already guessed Kansas. You got anything else you want to add?
No,
it's what band named an album after the state they grew up? So
yeah, I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't.
All right.
Nothing comes to mind.
Bon Jovi.
New Jersey.
Right,
my knowledge of hair bands is not as strong as people might think. I like Quiet Riot. That's about as far as it goes.
All right, I'll do For the Ladies for 400.
I'm gonna have to refill my water.
Before her death, Lisa Left Eye Lopez was a member of the 3-letter TLC.
No disputation. Congratulations.
Who made who?
Congratulations, T1 on winning.
Richie Blackmore fired all his bandmates from the band Elf, except for this singer in 1975. I have no fucking clue, but I'll guess Phil Collins. But I know that's not right.
I will guess either Ronnie James Dio or Ozzy Osbourne.
Pick one.
Ronnie James Dio.
All right, you got the points. And you get the board.
Holy diver! You can see his stripes, but you know he's clean. Oh, don't you know what I mean? I want to keep singing Dio. Let's do Who Made Who for 300.
The lead singer of the band Free was all right now, in quotes, when he formed Bad Company.
I would not know. I don't have an answer. I'm going to have to deflect to you. That's the only song I know by the band Bad Company. My knowledge on Rock and Roll Jeopardy is not that good. Not with the top.
I thought you said you wanted Rock and Roll Jeopardy. You want to pick a different Jeopardy? We can start over with.
No, we can keep doing this. I'm just saying, like these particular topics are not my forte for rock and roll.
Paul Rodriguez. All right, the board's still yours.
Okay, let's do For the Ladies 300. John,
this former soul pop artist and rehab songwriter with a troubled past passed away in 2011 in an alcohol-related death.
What is Amy Winehouse?
I have no dispute. All right, you're bored.
Same topic, 200.
This artist has ridden the success of her 2005 American Idol win to country superstardom.
I'm gonna have to deflect to you because I'm not familiar. Aside from William Hung and Ruben Studdard, American Idol is not something I give a fuck about. I've never really given a shit about American Idol. I hate that fucking show.
So, for those who don't know, when we grew up in Florida, Doug stuck to alternative rock while I embraced the redneck culture.
I worked at a rock and roll station.
And I know that Carrie Underwood dug her keys into the side of his pretty little souped up 4-wheel drive. Thank you.
Fucking loser. I really wish I had a frozen pizza right now. I don't have anything.
I'll do Dance for 400. When was the hit Gangnam Style by Psy released? I will say it's either 2011, 2012, but I'll say 2012.
Whoopin' Gangnam Style. I'll say 2010. John said he's going to beat our ass at Rock and Roll Jeopardy when he comes on. He's cooking right now, but once he gets done, he's coming on.
So you're going to say 2010?
I'm going to say 2010.
I said
really want a
2012.
pizza.
That means the answer is 2011. I guarantee it.
John just called us nerds.
Oh, July 2012. Look at me.
I wish I had money. It's too late now. Everything's closed. I want a pizza in the worst way right now.
Let's do song titles with cities. 300. This Celtic punk song is written from the prospect of a sailor, the lost to the wood. What's shipping out to Boston? Any dispute?
By Dropkick Murphys or Flogging Molly? Yeah.
Shipping up to Boston. Oh, yeah.
For Boston.
I'll do hair bands for 3. What group recorded the hits Round and Round? And
I know this one.
Round and Round. I'm gonna say Rat.
Around comes around.
I'm gonna say Rat.
You're right.
What? Is it Rat?
You're right. It's Rat.
That was a guess.
I knew right from the beginning that you were. Go ahead. I can love
Dance
that song.
for 300. The movie Saturday Night Fever featured what popular style of dance? Disco.
Ooh. I just watched a documentary on Scientology that featured how John Travolta's rise during that era of Welcome Back, Kotter and disco.
All right, I'm gonna do Who Made Who too.
So fascinating, the Scientology people.
Before singing about people's dirty laundry, this man formed the legendary band The Eagles.
I know. John would know. If that fucking dumb
Who's the lead singer of the fucking Eagles?
Oh man, it's Kenny Rogers. It's Kenny Rogers. Put in Kenny Rogers. It's Kenny Rogers. You gotta know when to fold that dirty laundry. It's Kenny Rogers, bro. Put in Kenny Rogers. I'm telling you.
I have no idea. I can't think of it right now. I know the name when I see it.
Watch
Do you have a guess?
Kenny Rogers. Watch it be Kenny Rogers.
You don't have a guess?
I just gave you my answer. It's Kenny Rogers, you piece of shit.
Don Henley. God, I'm fucking mad at myself. All right, cities and song titles 2. The apocalyptic song by The Clash is the title track of one of their most popular albums.
I'll be honest with you. I don't give a fuck about The Clash.
Hold on. I know this. Shut up.
London Calling.
Fuck. The youth. It's fuck.
Stop pretending like you fucking know what the answer.
No, I know it. Hold on.
You don't know your head from your dick.
The youth. London Calling.
I gotta. John just texted. John just YouTube commented. He said he'd beat our ass at this game. Oh, I love it. I fucking love it.
All right.
London Calling.
Hair bands 2. What band featured guitarist Joe Perry?
Point of privilege. I know this one.
Go ahead, because I can't think of it for some reason.
I might be wrong, but it's I think it's Aerosmith.
Yeah, you're right.
Pretty sure it's Aerosmith.
Yeah, I can't believe I couldn't come up with Aerosmith. I'm retarded. You're bored.
That was the first album I ever bought. Was Get a Grip.
You're bored.
No, one of the first albums. Let's do Who Made Who for 100.
Yeah, glad me in this shit.
Before being a reality TV star, Bret Michaels wanted nothing but a good time.
What is Poison?
You're bored still. I think it's mathematically impossible for you to win at this point.
I don't care. We're still having fun. Let's do Hairbands for 100.
Name the band that guitarist Ace Frehley came from.
Kiss. It's not. I'll bet it's wrong. It's probably that, but he's got a sad band. Let's do song titles with cities for 100.
Weezer had a 2005 hit with this song named after a wealthy California city.
What is Beverly Hills?
God damn it! I knew that one. You're bored.
Mathematically impossible.
Well, there's only
Never call me down and out, though. I'm a comeback.
There's only 400 points left, and you're losing by well over 1,000.
Fuck you. We're doing a second round after this. I'm getting
No, let me in. Let me in.
Shut up, Bob. We'll let you in the next one.
Next game you can come in.
Kicking your ass.
We're almost done. John said the same thing. He's cooking, and then he's jumping on. We're gonna do 2 episodes in a weekend. Okay, for the ladies 100.
This 2000s group was the launching pad for the current queen of pop, Beyonce.
Oh my God.
Oh my God! If you don't get this, I'm gonna be so happy.
Child.
Fuck.
Are you fucking kidding me? I love Beyonce, bitch. I know where she came from.
Dance. You want 1 or 2?
200.
What famous dance song did the Village People write?
YMCA. I can't believe I came back at the very end.
If I was you didn't come back. You're losing. You can't win.
But I've got the last 5 or 6 questions right, you dickhead.
What dance move? Yeah, maybe you should have gone for the high point ones first.
fuck
What
off.
dance move did Michael Jackson make popular?
That's a fucking moonwalk, you piece of shit. I hope you get fucking anally
Oh, look at
molested
that.
by a
Look
deer.
at that. I win with 2,900 points.
I don't give a fuck. You failed at the
Let's
end.
go.
All right, let's reload it for a second one. Let's do number 2 with Bob. And then
I gotta
John
say-
can jump on and we'll do third later. Holy
Only got a
fuck.
couple minutes. What
That's
we got?
fine. John's cooking. He texted me, but he's going to jump on. He's watching us, so.
Okay.
When you
I gotta
jump
find
on,
a new one.
jump on and play the third team member. Oh, you got to find one?
I gotta find a new one.
What if he starts Googling and we're looking at his screen and you start seeing like all kinds of horrible like bestiality porn pops up?
Whatever. You guys live in the UP.
That's not just UP, buddy. Have you ever been to Alabama? That's in the South.
I drove through there.
I love Alabama. Actually, it's a beautiful state.
The one listener we have in Alabama has now just logged off.
Hey, is that Frank Stein? Or no, do you know who Frank Stein is, Bob?
No idea.
Some guy was watching the feed, was watching the live stream earlier when Tony was on with us, and it was a guy named Frank Stein, and he was commenting back and forth. I didn't know who he was. So
Frank Stein sounds like a fake name.
probably. We also had a commenter from Russia on there. I'll be right back. I got to go fill my water tank up. I'm getting dry.
What have I missed?
Nothing. We just played that round of Jeopardy. I'm trying to find another rock and roll Jeopardy. Jeopardy. All's not drunk.
I know you said that my lighting looks better now with the light on, but I got to tell you, I'm fucking have that thing staring at me. It's irritating my buzz.
My
do
lighting is killer.
Your lighting is non-existent unless you pass an orange street light.
I
But it's
know,
kind of
great.
cool, though. I think it's cool. Tomorrow's going to be interesting. I don't think I'm going to finish all the last 4 beers that I have. I think I might save those for next week. I got to do a show at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Why did I get
Are we
water?
doing that tomorrow?
Yeah, noon your time, John, and we all agreed on it, right? That's what John was cool with it.
I thought John said he couldn't do till 5.
No, that was
No,
that.
Paul said he had 5.
No, that was next weekend. Next week we had a couple weeks ago when we did Brothers from Other Mothers. We all agreed to do a show on
Yeah, we
February.
agreed on the 5th.
Paul's birthday and John's birthday
Yeah.
episode, and then Paul. What happened was our parents wanted.
I got it.
Okay. Here are the rules here's how the rules how we play.
How
Whoever-
cool would it be to have Matt Pinfield in this episode right now?
Okay. Here are the rules, Bob. One person goes, they
Yeah.
get to pick. They get first shot at answer. If they don't get it right or they give a guess and you know it's the wrong answer, you shout out the right answer. Good deal?
Wait, one more time. Repeat
All
it.
right.
I'm sorry.
Let me go first since I'm not gonna be here.
No, I'm going first because I'm at the disadvantage and I won the last game.
Technically,
All right.
I came out as a champion at the end with all the
You did
knowledge.
not win, Doug.
I've got
Okay.
3 minutes.
All right, let's go.
All right, I'm going to do a history of rock and roll for 5. What decade did the British invasion happen? I am going to say the 50s.
Wrong. 60s.
I
Doug,
agree.
do you want to throw in a guess?
60s. Bob's right.
All right, Bob, your team 3. You get the points, and it's your board, Bob.
Just give me whatever for 1,000.
It's
There's not
500.
1,000. 500 is the max.
Let's do rock and roll around the world. That's the one that Bob would want. Rock and roll around the world for 500.
Is that good with you, Bob?
That's fine with me.
All right, the lead singer from New Jersey was proud to be born in the USA.
Bruce Springsteen, next.
Motherfucker.
All right,
You piece of shit.
you want to just go the high points? Just go down the list. Female artist of rock and roll for 500.
Mm-hmm.
This female singer. Ooh, this female singer sings "Love Is a Battlefield."
Doug, I can't hear. What?
This female singer sings "Love Is a Battlefield."
Oh, Pat Benatar, next.
Motherfuck you, you piece of shit.
I've seen her in concert. I've seen her in concert 4 times.
I'm calling Lee County
Male artists of rock and roll.
Sheriff.
All right.
The former Genesis
Come
lead
the fuck on, dude.
Doug, shut the fuck up so I can read. The former Genesis lead singer went solo and sang "In Your Eyes."
Oh, Peter Gabriel, next.
I'm gonna say Phil Collins.
No, you're wrong.
It's Peter Gabriel.
I fucking hate this.
I had to take a guess at something.
So
All right, instruments of rock and roll for 500.
Got it.
This instrument looks like a piano but is smaller.
Keyboard.
I'm gonna say a guitar. Doug.
Okay. If it's a
I'll-
guitar, you get 1,000.
I'll say it's a harpsichord. I don't know.
It's keyboard.
Yes! Give me whatever for 400.
All right. History of rock and roll. What was Elvis Presley's music heavily influenced by?
Oh, fuck you,
The
dude.
blues.
I'll say jazz. Doug,
No.
You'll be wrong. No, it's the blues.
what is rhythm and blues and gospel?
Blues is
I don't
in there.
know if
Jazz wasn't in there, Duddy. Jazz is not in there.
No.
Blues is.
Next.
I gave him the
Next 400.
points.
I should get a
Instruments-
point too. I was right.
The instrument has strings and you stand next to it.
Oh,
What
fuck.
is an upright bass or a cello?
I was gonna say it could be a bass or a cello. That's not
Yep.
fair. What is a bass?
Next 400.
Male artist of rock and roll 400. This California rock band sings all about the continent Africa and Buddy Holly.
Who is Toto? Next.
No.
Who is Weezer?
Oh, Weezer!
Weezer! I got it. I got it
Oh,
first.
You got me. You
All
got
right,
me.
my board. I will choose female artist
Is
of
it
rock and roll for
possible you
4.
to win? Is it possible for you to win?
Oh yeah, for sure. There's still a lot on the board. There's still a lot on the board. This female singer led rock and roll and sang with the Blackhearts, Joan Jett. Any dispute?
No, it's definitely Joan Jett.
I get the points. Rock around the world. Rock and roll was intended to help what cause? I'm going to say civil rights.
I'm going to say abortion rights.
Bob?
I don't know what the fuck it was intended for, so go ahead. Dig it.
I got it.
Okay?
I'll do rock around the world for 3. Bands from this country sang in language. Bands from this country sang in another language.
That could be
That
any
could,
band.
that could literally be any
It
band.
could be any fucking band.
Singer
Bands
up.
from this country. I guess I'll say
Rhino.
Germany. I'll say Germany.
I'm going to say Poland.
I'm going to say North Korea.
What is France, Pakistan, Ireland, Russia? Any of the answers would be
Fuck
accepted.
you, Rock and Roll Jeopardy.
Nobody, and we didn't guess any of them. That's such a dumb question.
That's
All right, I'll do female artist of rock and roll for 3. This female singer was known for the color of her hair. She sang "Call Me."
Blondie.
What? Paul? Wait, it's Paul. Whose turn is it?
It's mine.
Debbie Harry.
Oh, you motherfucker, Bob. It's not your
I'll say-
turn.
I'll say Debbie Harry.
Yeah,
Any
because
dispute?
Bob just gave you the fucking answer. God damn it, Bob.
Blondie. Oh, nobody got it. It was blonde.
Yeah, I knew what it was. I didn't say it out loud because it was your answer. We're supposed to go. You get the first guess.
Yep. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. All right. Lead singer for Queen, Freddie Mercury. Any dispute?
Off. Yeah. No. Hey, John.
Hi, losers.
All right. I'll do instruments of rock and roll. This instrument is
Jeremy,
a
John.
wind instrument and is usually played in jazz music
Cheers.
too. A fucking wind instrument. A wind instrument.
A wind instrument, you dipshit.
That could be a saxophone or it could be a fucking trumpet. I'll say saxophone. Any dispute?
No. Yes, it is a dispute for me because a saxophone's not a fucking wind instrument, dude. Wind instrument. Well, wait, no, it is. Never mind. Say whatever you want.
It's either saxophone or trumpet. So I'll say saxophone. Anybody want to say trumpet?
I'll say trumpet. Is
Guys,
Bob
I got some
Saxophone.
serious lag going on. I'll be right back.
okay?
History of rock and roll for 3. Chuck Berry performed this famous hit that
Is Bob
was later performed by Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future. Oh my God, Paul. Johnny Be Good. God damn it. Any dispute?
No. Is Bob there? Or did he cut out too?
He's still showing in the studio.
Okay. Yeah, Johnny Be Good. That's another good movie I got to watch. God damn it, I got to start writing shit down, man.
I'll do rock and roll around the world. Bands from this country invaded America in the 60s and in the 80s. I'll say Britain. Great
You're
Britain.
right. I agree. Is Back to the Future streaming on anything that you know of?
I have no idea. I might own it on Amazon.
Good enough for me. I want to watch that tonight.
This female singer was the first woman to sing rock and roll. Her initials are JJ. Janis Joplin?
No, it's Joan Jett.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it's not Janis Joplin.
Love rock and roll.
Janis Joplin. I win.
Oh, God damn it. I'm an idiot. I feel fucking stupid.
This New Jersey band from the 80s sings It's My Life. Bon Jovi. Any dispute?
Agree. Well, it looks
This
like
is-
Bob's not winning anymore, is he?
No, he's still winning. He's still winning, but I can still beat him as
No,
long as he's down and I keep getting him right. This instrument is loud noise when you bang on it. A drum?
Agreed.
All right. If I get this right, me and him are tied. History around the world. What influenced the 1950s rock and roll music? What? Civil rights? Didn't we already get a form of this question? Dispute it or no?
Bob said he'll be back in 5.
Oh, what is classical and jazz? I didn't get it. All right, I've got to fucking get this now. Bands from this country sing in Mandarin. What is China? Any dispute?
No. My man John Cena speaks it fluently.
I'm assuming Bob is still listening and or watching. So
No,
this is the top.
I think he just picked up a driver
Okay.
right now. He'll be back in 5.
This is the time. Well, he's still in the studio.
That's fine.
This blonde female singer started with a group, no doubt, before she went solo. Gwen Stefani. Me and Bob are tied. And it looks like I might pull
Bob
this off
just texted
again.
me. Bob just texted me because I told him that you were catching up to him. Bob just said I'm not there, so he may be in the group, but he's actually not there. He's not watching.
Whatever. This famous 1960s rock group started the British invasion. I'm going to guess the Beatles. Stop, John. We'll explain the rules. You're not in this. You're not in this, John. You'll get in the next round.
Yeah.
You dispute Doug.
Bob's coming back in 5 minutes, and we're going to
You dispute that, Doug.
No, it's the Beatles.
Okay. And I'm beating Bob. All right. The instrument is very popular in rock and roll and has
Eddie.
strings. What is a guitar? Any dispute?
No. Bass.
All right. Rock and roll. History of rock and roll. What decade did Bill Haley and the Comets introduce rock and roll? I'm going to guess 1949.
1950.
I agree. 1950.
What is the 1950s? Well, I won.
How come you haven't even put my
Bullshit.
points on? I agreed with 1950s, and I didn't get a point added to my thing.
Bullshit. So everyone's got their digital wallets out. How much are we playing for? What are we doing here?
I don't have NFTs or fungi or bitcoins, buddy, but I can certainly get you some lake perch for.
Okay.
What the fuck are we Lake Perch? Are we in fucking the season of The Wire?
I'm playing with my buddy, man. Let me do
All
my
right.
thing the way
Are
I
we
want.
gonna-
I
are we
got
are we
that
gonna wait for Bob?
WMP, yo. I got that
Are we
big
gonna-
yellow bird.
Bob said Bob
Stop that
texted
leg trout. Picked you up that sandwich joint you like with the spicy sauce.
Bob texted me a minute ago that he'll be back in 5 and that we'll do a whole round together.
All right,
He's
well then let's
probably got
let's bullshit for 5, and I'll make it a 14 game. But the categories are vocabulary, rock and roll, challenge, pop, and extra. But I'll start it off once Bob gets back. How you doing? How you doing, bud? John?
I'm all right. I'm in the middle of making a fancy ass dinner.
It looked good.
I hope I don't ruin it by being here, but I'm happy to be here.
I'm definitely in the mood for a frozen pizza, and I wish I had one. But your meal, the picture you sent me in text, looks really yummy.
Have you
I'm
ever
gonna
been to
take the dogs
Carrabba's?
out.
You ever been to Carrabba's and had their marsala sauce?
Not in a long time, buddy.
That's what I'm making. I'm making smoked pork chops with my homemade marsala sauce.
I would never eat marsala sauce because I know
Why?
what marsalis means in Italian.
Let me tell you something, Paul. I've had
It's
a lot of.
mushroom. It's mushroom.
Paul, I agree with you. I saw it in the picture. I already knew off the bat Paul wasn't going to like it.
Marsala is actually a wide.
Yes, but when you make a marsala dish, it's derived
Yes.
from a mushroom.
Absolutely, that's the base of the dish. You don't like mushrooms?
Only thing on the planet I won't eat.
Wow, I feel so bad for you.
Let me
Mushrooms
tell
are
you something.
delicious.
John, he dated a girl. I remember this to a T. We went over to her house for Christmas. He dated a girl a few years back whose kids. Paul makes it very known when he meets somebody that he doesn't like mushrooms. He fucking hates mushrooms, from the taste down to the consistency and the texture.
Okay.
And he told this to this girl he was dating and her kids. And one night they had dinner and decided to make a dish and not tell Paul that they were going to put mushrooms in it. And they got him finally. I think they minced them or whatever. Got him to where you couldn't feel the.
Put in a sauce or something, a spaghetti sauce or something. You chop them up; they look like little onions in there. Yeah.
Put one spoonful in his mouth and immediately spit it out and said it's got mushrooms in it. It's not cool. He's fucking weird, man.
Wow.
He's really weird like that.
Now, Jeff used to be like that, but then since I started living with Jeff, I make a lot of things with mushrooms. And Jeff's actually come around and he's like, I think I hate canned mushrooms. And I go, yeah, canned mushrooms are pretty gross unless you're a big mushroom lover. But
Yeah.
when I make stuff with fresh mushrooms, like stir fry or saute them with garlic and some fucking cooking wine and shit like that, he'll fucking eat them up like crazy.
I'll say that.
Or dude, I'll eat fucking mushrooms raw. One of my favorite side dishes are deep fried mushrooms. You put them in fucking beer batter,
baby.
and you get all that fucking weird mushroom texture
the juice.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
great.
buddy.
I love it. And people are grossed out by it. I get it. I get the texture thing. What I don't get is the taste thing.
It tastes amazing, especially
Mushrooms are
portobello.
delicious. Yeah, portobellos are shiitakes and stuff, very, very strong. They're earthy flavors, but it's that's like saying I don't like potatoes because they taste like they come from the earth.
One of my absolute favorite things that you made when you worked at McGregor Food and Spirits was the portobello burger. Just a grilled portobello top on a fucking bun. It was so good, dude.
Doug, do you know the fuckery behind how we make that burger?
Would you jizz on it waiting?
No. I'll tell you right now. So we buy those big portobello mushroom caps, right? We take the fucking stem off it.
Sure.
We rinse it off really quick. We put it in a bowl. We put our grill seasoning on it, which is salt, pepper, and garlic. Sorry, Dave, if you're watching this. Salt,
Is he
pepper,
still
garlic.
working there?
Yeah, he's still the head chef there.
Wow.
It's his fucking restaurant. He
That's
fucking
awesome,
built that
man.
shit. Fuck Mike. It's all fucking Dave.
I had no idea. That's awesome.
That's my fucking mentor right there, man. That guy taught me more working in that kitchen those years than man. It's crazy.
I used to
But
go to.
anyway, so we take that portobello mushroom, we put it capside down in a fucking bowl with the seasoning on it, put saran wrap over it, put it in the microwave for fucking 2 minutes, and then put some grill marks on it and put it on a fucking bun.
It was still good. It was amazing.
It was
I love
so
that.
good, but it was a fucking microwave fucking mushroom.
I also
Why,
like the steak fry.
why am I echoing? Who is listening?
Because Bob's
Bob,
listening
can you
to
turn
us
your
in the
volume down?
car.
I have no control over my volume.
Okay, well, you're still not on the screen, and you're going to lose at Jeopardy. How much you want to
Bitch,
wager?
fuck off.
How about you
How-
go into a McDonald's parking lot, turn your light on, and do a proper show unless you don't want to come back tomorrow.
All right.
And do this.
Real quick explanation for the rules for John. I'm going to go first because I won the last round. I picked the
hungry.
category. I get first
Wait,
dibs at
what
answering.
was the final score? I want to hear this.
Oh,
it was
you lost,
35.
Bob.
It was 3,500 to 33. I beat you by 200.
I wasn't even there. That's hilarious.
I went on a roll. As soon as you were gone, I went on a pretty big hot streak.
He did. Kind of like how I beat Paul in the first round. How I went
Alright.
on a hot streak and beat him at the end.
All right, John. So what it is I go first. I pick the
McDonald's, when I
category.
beat you.
Read the question. I give my answer. If you know I'm wrong,
Acknowledge
you
that
pipe
I beat
in with your dispute. If you get it right, you get to pick the next one and you get to answer first. Good?
But he has to have the chance to answer first.
But so we all just start shouting, or what?
Wait for me to answer.
How about we do
Okay.
this?
Wrong.
Whoever is in control of the board gets first crack at answering because we don't have a buzzer system. If I answer, okay, here let's
So
do.
why don't we just take turns? If you get it wrong, that question is
That's
done
not how it
with.
works. But if you get it right, you get to go again. That's how Jeopardy works. We just
Okay.
don't have a buzzer system like Jeopardy.
Okay.
Here,
How about this?
get
Wait,
one wrong.
wait.
I'm gonna get one
I got
wrong.
an idea. How about this? Paul, you start out because we're all on the side of the board. We're all in order on the left-hand side from Paul, me, Bob, and John. So how about whoever gets the answer right, they keep control of the board, but the order of the next person, if they fuck it up, goes down the line since we're all in order like a totem pole on the side.
I'm good with that. This is a
Okay.
pretty
With
easy
that.
system. Okay. This type of rock is smooth and I don't think we're talking about rock and roll. I think I picked.
I think you picked the wrong fucking thing, buddy. Rock and roll. Mineral Jeopardy.
Yeah, this is like rocks,
Lola,
like rock.
No, Lola, what are you doing? God damn it!
I'm so hungry for pizza.
Rock and roll. Okay.
I honestly thought you were about to say penis.
All right,
That
I think
too.
I'm
I could
gonna
go
check
for a
on my
nice
sauce.
soft dick. Salty
Team
dick in
4.
my mouth.
All right. This is
What?
each category is the decade starting with the 50s, ending with the 90s. All right. I'm gonna do 50s for 500. Folsom Prison Blues was performed in 1956 by this famous artist, Johnny Cash. Any dispute?
Nope.
No.
1960s 500. Who was the most dominant group under the rock genre? Surfer rock, Beach Boys. Any dispute?
Nope.
John,
Nope.
Bob.
John had to go check on his food.
Okay.
He'll be right back.
No.
I'm just making sure I give an option for everybody. Ozzy formed this group, which was released second album called Paranoid, which went #1 in the UK. Black Sabbath, I think.
You're right. It's Black Sabbath. Ronnie James Dio was the second singer of Black Sabbath.
All right, I'm going to do 80s for 5. Eddie Van Halen married this famous TV sitcom actress. Oh.
I know this.
Oh, I know it.
Hold on. This is just going to be a guess, but all right. It's an 80s sitcom. 80s sitcom actress.
Yeah, you get a certain amount of time, Paul.
Yeah. I'll say Susan Summers. Suzanne Summers.
I will say Christy Brinkley.
You're also wrong. It's Valerie
I'm also
Bertinelli.
wrong because it was Billy Joel. It was
All right,
Billy
Bobby,
Joel.
Bob. What's your answer, Bob?
It's Valerie Bertinelli, the correct answer.
He's right. Bob's right.
John, do you
So Bob
dispute
gets-
Valerie Bertinelli?
No, I do not.
All right, your team 3.
Who was I thinking of that was married to Christy Brinkley? Was it Billy Joel
Joel.
or was it? Okay.
Billy Joel.
Bob, you're bored.
Give me any category. I don't care.
90s rock for
1990s.
5. Do you want the high or
Bob's
low?
gonna
What?
Yeah, 500.
The lead singer dies in November 24th, 1991 from AIDS complications.
What the fuck, dude?
Queen,
Doug.
Freddie Mercury.
Do you dispute that, John?
Nope.
I don't dispute. Doug, do you dispute?
Of course not.
90s 400. This German metal band score a #4 US, #2 UK hit song with the single "Wind of Change" from their 11th album.
Wind
of
of
Change.
Change.
Wind of.
Scorpions.
Do you disagree, John?
No, I do not.
I don't disagree. Do you disagree, Doug?
No.
All right, this is to take the lead. 80s rock for 400. Ozzy Osbourne teamed up with this guitarist and released the album Blizzard of Oz.
Who is
I
Randy
know.
Rhodes next?
Who is
No,
what?
No.
Randy Rhodes.
Incorrect. Zach
All right,
Wild.
John,
Zach
what's your
Wild?
dispute?
Zach Wild.
John, I don't have a
John's
dispute.
John's right.
I never
No.
Who is Randy Rhodes?
Suck it.
Oh shit. Okay.
I thought
70s.
Randy.
This
I
is why
thought-
everybody
I
has
thought-
to. Hey, everybody,
Hold on.
please be quiet so I can hear.
That's negative points if someone makes a guess and it's negative.
Yeah, it doesn't. No, there's no knocking of points.
Yeah,
don't
you
subtract.
also don't have weed and beer in your system.
Yeah,
No,
we-
but
we're
I'm
not-
fucking driving at 70 miles an hour.
You
You
got
listen to
Right.
podcast. You listen to music and podcasts when you're driving. What's the difference?
Holy Christ! Everybody, just shut up when I'm reading and somebody's answering.
Sorry, Whoopi.
This rock and roll artist formed the band Derek and the Dominoes in December of 1970.
Who was Eric Clapton?
You dispute that, John?
No, he's correct. He's 100% correct.
It could be
I'm gonna
Derek
say
Smalls.
I'm gonna dispute it and say who is Derek. Go ahead, Doug. Do you dispute?
Derek Smalls from This Is Spinal Tap. No, Bob's right.
60s for 4. What song hit #1 in the U.S. in October of 1960 by the music group The Drifters? I know the answer. I know this one.
I do not know.
Okay, Are you relinquishing your answer?
Yeah.
John, you got an answer?
No, I don't. Pass.
Sitting on the dock of the bay,
Really?
wasting time.
No.
Doug, do you dispute my
No.
sitting on the dock of the bay?
I
Yeah.
honestly have no idea who it is. So sure.
Save the last dance for me. I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
I love
Yeah,
when my
yeah.
brother's wrong.
It's your
Next.
turn still, Bob. Just go to the next highest one.
Yep.
50s 4. This famous Elvis Presley hit was originally recorded by Willie Mae Big Mama Thornton.
Oh, that's an easy one.
I don't know shit about Elvis. He stole all of his music from black people.
And his dance moves from Forrest Gump.
I'm just gonna say, "Love Me Tender." I don't fucking know.
Nope. Hound dog. You ain't nothing
I'll
but
say-
a hound dog.
I was literally going to say
I was gonna say Hound Dog, but since you took it, I'll say Suspicious Minds just to have a different answer on the board. Doug, do you have anyone you want to throw on?
It's Hound Dog. I think it's Hound Dog.
What is Hound Dog? All right, John's on the board. John, you're bored.
Awesome. Let's go with 1990s rock for 300, Alex.
This Texas blues artist is killed in a helicopter crash
Yeah, Jesus.
in
Who is-
August of.
Who is Stevie Ray Vaughan?
Damn it! I don't dispute
Wait,
that
Stevie
at all.
Ray Vaughan's dead?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Sorry.
All right, so nobody disputes Stevie Ray Vaughan.
No.
Too funny.
John, you're bored.
I'll take 1990s rock for 200.
This artist's first single as a solo artist, "Blaze of Glory," goes to #1 in the U.S.
Who is John Bon Jovi?
Sorry, I forgot to ask if anybody disputed. Go ahead, John.
No.
No, not with John.
1990s for 100.
This group wrote and performed the song "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
Who is Nirvana?
What? Who can it possibly be? Oh my God.
All right.
Bear's driving.
How could that be?
It's your board, John.
I can't even read the categories.
50s,
80s,
60s, 70s, and 80s.
80s rock for 300.
The former Genesis lead singer scored a #1 hit on the UK charts.
Who is oh my God, why am I blanking? Phil Collins. Phil Collins.
I'll say Peter Gabriel.
It's Peter Gabriel.
Sure.
Oh shit! Yeah, you guys are right. You're right. All right.
I'll take 70s for 300. Crosby, Stills, Nash added this one. 1970. I will say who is Neil Young. Any dispute?
I dispute it. It's Joe Rogan.
Get your facts straight. That's COVID misinformation, Bob.
Who is bootlicker Neil Young for $300?
I'll take 60. I'll take 60s rock for 300.
Bootlicker Neil Young is the greatest thing ever.
I'll take 60s
Thank
rock
Jeff for that.
This band is named after Popular Music Magazine.
Oh,
This band.
I got.
This band.
I know.
Stop!
I know.
I get to answer first.
Okay.
This band is named after a popular music magazine. I'm gonna guess.
Spin.
Rolling Stone.
Spin Doctors.
I'm gonna name Cream.
Ooh.
Okay, so
Cream
we got
was
Rolling
also-
Stone and Cream.
Cream
What do
was
you
also
got,
a
Bob?
magazine.
It's Rolling Stone.
John.
I'm gonna
Rolling
go
Stone and
Cream.
Cream.
I'm gonna go Cream.
Well, Doug already got Cream. If it's Cream, Doug gets it. The Rolling Stones.
Yeah. Oh well. I guess I just don't like the mainstream media.
Chuck. Oh, we already answered. This one was a previous question. Chuck Berry performed this famous hit. Johnny Be Good. Any dispute?
No.
Yeah, we already had this question.
It's your cousin Marvin.
1980s 2. This UK-based American band capitalized on the UK rockabilly revival in their debut album. Oh God, it's the guy who does Stray Cats. What's his name?
I know his
Brian
name.
Stelter Orchestra. Brian Stelter Orchestra. Any
Wrong.
dispute?
That's not what they were called at the time.
Correct. They were just
Okay.
called.
I know the name.
Say
What is it, Doug?
Stray
You got
Cats.
Stray
Cats.
Stray
Bob?
Cats.
Fuck. Doug's on the board. Welcome to the board, Doug.
Thanks, guys. Good to be here. I won't be here long. I'm just gonna hang it out for a minute. We're gonna
You're
go 1970s rock for 200. Oh shit! I could have taken 90s for 100. God damn it!
This California rock and roll group had a #1 hit written by the band member Randy Newman.
I'm gonna say the California Raisins. I don't know.
John?
Okay. Bob, do you have a dispute on that, Bob?
It's definitely not the California fucking Raisins.
Do you not know?
I will dispute that.
Okay, then what's your answer?
70s California. I can't remember what band Randy Newman was in.
Yeah, I can't either.
He was in a group with another guy, and I can't think of who the other guy was. They had like a Simon and Garfunkel thing.
Couple guys.
They were like, no, it was two guys.
You know what? I'm gonna pass and let Doug control the board.
John, do you have an answer?
No, I don't. I can't think of the name of the band.
I don't fucking know, but when I see it, it's gonna piss me off. Three Dog Night.
Wow, I never would have guessed that.
All
right, Doug, you're bored.
1980s rock for 100. I honestly never would have guessed that.
In the Air, God damn it! In the Air Tonight was the song performed by the famous singer who is also responsible for the Disney movie soundtrack Tarzan.
Is Phil Collins.
Dude,
Any
that
dispute?
question shouldn't even be. No, it shouldn't even be a question.
All right, Doug, you're bored.
1970s for 100.
This famous 1960s rock group announced they would break up on April 10th, 1970.
Wow, okay.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, sure.
I got my answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know this one. I'll
Whether
just say
I'm right or not.
beat the Beatles. I know I'm wrong.
John, Bob, do you have an answer?
He's right.
John.
He's right. It's the Beatles.
All right, just to dare to be different, I'll...
Weird Al Yankovic, Daniel Radcliffe, coming soon. Dare to be
I'll
different. Dare to be stupid.
Even though I know he would have been dead by the time, I'll say Buddy Holly and the Crickets. That is the Beatles.
What?
I cannot believe I got that right.
Doug, you're
1960s for 200.
This album, titled Abbey Road, belongs
Oh, what
to
the
what
fuck,
internationally
dude?
famous 1960s
What?
band?
How can you have two?
Who is the Beatles?
What kind of shit is that?
That's arcade.
What color is
No,
blue?
no, that's the Arcade Fire, right?
And I did the typical white girl Instagram thing. I walked across Abbey Road with no shoes on and got the picture.
Sure you
Let's
did.
go with 1950s 200, please.
This 1950s genre of rock was usually, but not always, performed mainly by white artists who drew more on this country roots of playing.
This 1950s genre of rock was usually, but not always, performed mainly by white artists. Drew more of the country roots of playing. I'll say bluegrass. I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah.
Bob, you got an answer?
It should be bluegrass.
It should be bluegrass.
John, you got an answer? I'm gonna say
Bluegrass.
gospel just to be different. Rockabilly. Doug, you're
Interesting.
bored.
1960s for 100.
This rock group is named after the titles of parents.
I know this one.
I know the answer too.
But
The fact that
I'm
Doug
not-
is having
I'm
to think
not
about
doing the
this.
thing.
The Mamas and the Papas. What is the Mamas and the Papas?
Any dispute? Is there any dispute?
No.
No.
Okay. Oh my God, I'm gonna win this game.
1950s 100. But Doug came out in the end like he did the first round. What?
This phrase was first coined by a man named Alan Freed.
Don't put your finger there.
Rock and roll.
Rock and
I'll say-
roll.
I'll say keep rocking. You got anything, Bob?
It's rock and roll.
What is rock and roll?
What
John
is
gets the
rock
points.
and roll?
I-
I won 3 games.
Load,
I want
load,
three
up
games in a
another,
row.
load up another one. I want vengeance. I gotta go check out my sauce.
Can we do a different category?
What do you, pop culture or movies? That's the only thing is I'm willing to go concede with if everyone's okay with it.
No, music.
Fuck off, dildo.
Music.
I am the least musically inclined and have just won 3 in a row. Can we please
I wasn't
switch?
here.
Yeah, Bob. cut
You were
it
here
out.
that whole game, Bob. This last game, you were here the whole fucking game. And you had
What was
control
it?
of the board. And
What
you
was
had
the
control of the
score?
board.
I missed one, and then you gave it up to Doug.
That's what happens. You miss one and it's given up.
Yeah.
And Doug went on a roll for the lowest points possible.
But I came out in the third round,
What was
motherfucker.
the final score?
Here, I'm literally going to have to pull up the stream and go backwards.
I gotta go grab something out of the fridge. I'm hungry. I just gotta need to get a bite. I'll be right back.
I'm literally pulling up the live stream right now for you.
No, I don't really care. I'm just curious what it was.
Doug answered the last couple questions, so I'm not going to tell you Doug's last score. Mine was 2,700. Yours was 2,200. John's was 1,000.
All right, let's do one more round, then I'm gonna go to work.
Okay, and are we? I'm okay with it. I definitely want to do it. We're still on for tomorrow, right? Noon your time.
Yeah,
Okay, good. Good.
I say we play Jeopardy again.
God damn it. I want. Yeah, okay, I'm good with that. I'm good with whatever.
We could do a live version of Trivial Pursuit.
Man, the last time I played Trivial Pursuit was with John, my brother, Jess, and Becca, Hurricane Charlie, and it was the 1960s board game that Paul and I had from our parents. And John,
Yes.
I remember Paul. We're talking about board games for tomorrow's episode when we go live at noon. And I was telling them when you, Becca, and Jess stayed with me and Paul during Hurricane Charlie and how we pulled out that 1960s version of Trivial Pursuit.
Yeah.
And Paul
I love
asked
Trivial Pursuit.
one of the questions Paul asked was it was a handful of board games our parents left us, and one of the questions was like, who was the prime minister of so and such and such, something really benign in like 1958 or something like that. And John's just like, oh fuck, I know that. That's just like an old hat off the back of my head. Who doesn't know that fucking question? He's like, Jesus Christ, update your fucking board games.
All
right,
right,
I go-
man.
I'm
Go
going
for it.
first. I'm going to do
I don't know.
Origins for 5.
I was just trying to fuck Becca. That's all I remember. About
What
that.
was rock originally a blend between? I'm going to guess jazz and
Roll.
bluegrass.
Incorrect? Incorrect.
Incorrect.
I'm sure.
Rock.
Rhythm and blues. And
Jazz.
Doug, it's Doug's chance to steal it, Bob. Shut up.
I'm giving him a chance to fucking win.
Rock, rhythm and blues.
It is rock. It is rock, Doug.
Rhythm and blues. I said.
Okay, rhythm and blues. What's your answer, Bob?
It's John's turn.
It's your turn, Bob. You're next in line.
Not on my screen.
Oh my God.
We're gonna.
Do you have an
go
answer, Bob, or no?
R&B and country.
R&B and country.
R&B and
John?
country is correct. R&B and country is correct.
What is country and western blues,
Black
and
rhythm and blues.
R&B.
gospel? So who do we give? Do we give?
Everyone
Points to
gets a
on that.
point. Everyone gets a point.
Can we do that? Can I do that? Yeah, I can.
Sure.
Everybody gets 500.
Why not,
And I'll-
man? We
and
live
I'll
in
say-
Joe Biden's America. Why not?
And-
Everybody gets a point. Everybody's fucking valid.
Biden's America. Everything's free. The goddamn Democrats are taking over.
What was the name of the person who recorded the first rock record? Ah, Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna say fucking Buddy Holly.
I'm going
Doug?
to say Calhoun Pickens.
All right, Bob.
Pass.
John.
Give me a second.
Hey, Paul?
Yeah.
Waylon Jennings.
Is that really your answer?
No.
Hey, Paul, is there a way you can swap out the brothers from the same mother logo?
Elvis Presley.
Okay. What is
Oh no
Barack Obama?
no!
What is
I
Jackie
know.
Bernstein?
I know. Oh God, no, I was correct.
Why doesn't it
Barack
say Barack
Obama?
Obama?
What?
I'm assuming Jackie Bernstein is the correct answer.
What the fuck is wrong with this program you got going on, Paul?
I don't know. Rock through the ages for 5. Why were punk and metal formed? To that's a fucking weird thing to say. I'm gonna say to go against the system, rage against the machine, to go against the system.
The fuck
Fight
kind of
the man.
question is that?
Yeah, that's such a philosophical question.
To sell clothing.
In the UK, it was to go against the Queen. In
No,
America.
seriously.
In the UK, it was to go against the Queen. In America, it was to sell clothing.
No, it was-
in the UK. In the UK, it was to sell clothing because fucking Malcolm owned a goddamn clothing shop.
No.
He created
Okay,
the sex.
here's my
In
question.
the
Does
UK,
anybody
it was the Sex Pistols. In the America, it was the Ramones. It was the Sex Pistols. Who cares who started it? It's
All I'm
fucking
saying is
music, man.
does anybody dispute my answer of going against the system or the status
Yeah.
quo or
Yeah,
any
to
form
sell-
of that?
To sell clothes.
Okay, does anybody go against that? Sell
No.
clothes or go against the system? All right.
I just wish people
Rock
would've-
became too mainstream. Rock was no longer available to listen. So will everybody give me credit for go against the system?
Sure.
Thank you.
I just wish people would have
Next.
acknowledged my. I wish
That is
people
the
would have
dumbest
acknowledged my.
question.
I wish
Who
people
are
would have
the
acknowledged
4
my.
members of the Beatles? There's John, Paul,
Nope. Full
Ringo,
names.
and
Full names.
George.
Full names.
George
Full
Harris. Fine, shut up. Let me say them. Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney, John Lennon, George Harris.
Wrong.
Any disputes?
Yes.
Yes.
The answer is George Harrison.
Correct.
Are you
George
guys for real not going to let me get the
George,
fucking
George
answer?
Harrison and Paul McCartney.
I'm sorry.
I disagree. It's Clarence Walker, Eddie Murphy's character on SNL.
Elvis
the
Presley
Beatles.
beat. This is a joke. Whoever made this one's joking.
Well,
God damn
clearly.
it.
All right. Do you guys want to start a new board? Because I'm not going to keep going.
Yes,
beating up
'cause this
Barack
is-
Obama.
This sucks.
Yeah.
I might go first.
Fuck that. I'm going first.
You gone first last time. It's not
I
fair.
won last time.
It's
Nobody
not fair. I'm
acknowledged.
gonna get my
no-
own. I'm gonna get my own Jeopardy game and start on my own channel.
All right. We got
Blackjack
blues,
and hookers.
jazz, rock and roll that is from the 1950s through the 1770s. What?
To the
And then rock and roll
1770s.
for-
Reload.
I think it's 19. It's supposed to be 1970s. There's not many other boards. Rock and for some reason minerals are mixed in with rock and roll Jeopardy. All right, I'll do blues for 500. Name the 4 different types of blues.
Sad, happy, angry, depressed.
Happy is not blues.
Dopey, wimpy.
In the musical context, I have no idea. So, Doug, do you have an answer?
Type from blues. There's rhythm and blues. There's jazz. I would say rhythm and blues, jazz, bluegrass. Yeah, I don't have an answer. I can't think of one. I can't think of the fourth
Bob.
one.
Delta Blues.
Oh fuck you! God damn it!
Yeah.
I do know more. I don't give myself enough credit. I don't think a lot either.
John, go ahead. It's on. Start with Delta. If you can name the other three.
Delta Blues, Chicago Blues, Southern Blues,
Wouldn't that be Delta?
Rhythm and Blues.
The only other guess I would have is after hearing you guys give your answers, I would throw St. Louis in there. Delta, Chicago, Texas, and Memphis. Nobody gets it.
I got Chicago right.
Yeah, but you didn't.
You have to get all four.
St. Louis is my favorite style of ribs.
What is fusion? When two things come together, I have no clue. That's my answer. When two things come together. Doug, do you have an answer?
When two things come together, fusion. When you fuse things together, like
Correct.
ZZ
Yeah.
Top, Transcendental Medicine.
A mixture of different genres.
That's what I'm saying. When two different musicals come together.
Mix each
John-
things together. Yeah, I agree.
Like when Macho Man puts out a rap album, it's fusion, wrestling and rap.
Mixing rock with jazz. It's up to you guys whether I get points. I don't care if I don't get the points for that.
Doesn't matter to me.
I wasn't
Like,
specific to rock.
Whatever.
Like I would say rock and gospel would be fusion too. Like I
Why
would
the
say
hell-
alternative.
Why the hell did the question
Rock and rap is
so
fusion.
weird?
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
do I get the points or no?
Yeah, you get the points, whatever.
Yeah, why not? Hip hop is fusion too.
I don't care if you guys would have said no on that. All right, rock and roll. I'm assuming it's 1950s through 1970s. What famous artist died during the 1970s? I'm gonna guess it's Elvis Presley is what they're looking for. Doug, do you have anybody that you want to randomly say died in the 70s?
Lots of them, probably.
I'm guessing Elvis is the big one they're looking for.
A few of them.
Yeah, a lot.
Jim Morrison. I'll say Jim Morrison.
Bob, you got anybody you want to add to the list?
Hendrix.
All right, John.
Oh, that's a better answer, actually.
Dude, there are so many. This is fucking ridiculous. Where are you
It is
getting
so
these fucking
stupid.
questions from?
It's so stupid. Do you have another name you want to throw on the board?
Just
in case?
go. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah.
This is dumb now. We're getting dumb. This is what happens when you get to the bottom of the list.
This is why we should switch to a different topic other than music. Pop
What
culture.
were 5 emerging styles of
This
rock
is-
music?
Dude,
During-
get a different goddamn board up here.
Just
This
go-
is
There's
fucking
no more
illegal.
rock and roll. There's no more rock and roll.
Go to movies.
So just do
All right.
music in general.
John,
Or
getting all-
movies or something. This is
Movies.
so fucking dumb.
I
Movies.
can't wait till tomorrow when John's had a nap.
Oh my god.
This is the greatest night of my life. Last 2 hours and 46 minutes, anyway.
This is fucking retarded. Name 5 different genres of music that came out of the 80s. Like, what the fuck kind of question is that? New wave? Well, punk was started in the 70s, technically, so.
I don't appreciate the fact that neither you or Bob even got my SLC Punk reference before.
I did.
Why do you laugh?
Jesus. Here we go. Here are the categories: Marvel, racing movies, movie quotes, Dukes of Hazzard,
Good.
roles for
Wonderful.
one actor,
Wonderful.
Disney.
I'll
Okay.
take movie quotes for 500, Alex.
Are we playing
everybody-
Are we playing Ramshambo and who goes first?
We'll
Yes,
do it the
go
same way
first.
we did it. John's just picking first. All right. Exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. Happy people just don't shoot their husbands. They just don't.
What's the topic?
Quote.
Movie quotes.
Okay. What's how give you endorphins? Endorphins make you happy. Happy people just don't shoot their husbands. They just don't. John's first.
Yep.
Okay.
John, you got an answer?
I'm thinking.
Don't think too hard.
Pass.
I think I know it.
Go for it, Paul.
Go for it.
I'll wait for John. John gets first crack.
He just said pass.
Oh, did you say pass, John?
Yeah.
The fuck am I talking to myself?
Double.
No.
I'm gonna say the answer is Double Jeopardy.
I'm gonna say Serial Mom with Kathleen Turner, John
That's
Waters
right.
movie.
That's what I thought of.
Bob, you got an answer?
Probably not right.
All I can hear is
Legally
Doug
Blonde.
Yeah,
All right,
there
John,
we
you're
go.
bored still.
lot of people said that movie was good. I
Mo-
never gave a
movie
shit about
quotes
it.
are 400.
Oh, come on, man. You're going to rate
Wax
musical.
on, wax off.
What is the Karate Kid?
I have
That's-
no dispute. Doug.
I
Right.
do. Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3, and the new Karate Kid.
What about the next Karate Kid? That's the fourth one. You're not even counting the Hillary
John, you're
Swank.
bored.
Quotes for 300.
I'm the king of the world.
What
Fuck
is
off,
Titanic?
I don't dispute. Doug, do you dispute?
Fuck no, I don't dispute. Oh, this one's got an animated GIF with a cat.
John?
Quotes for 200.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Motherfucker.
Stick a dildo in my ass right now. Jesus Christ.
Slap my ass and call me Judas.
I don't
John,
know
why are you
this
looking
one.
at this like you don't know?
It's the
Oh,
last
Star
temptation
Wars.
of Jesus Christ.
Whoa!
Is that your final answer? Wait, is that your final answer?
He said it.
Yeah, Star Wars. I don't know it.
Wrong.
I'm going to say Spider-Man.
I'm
Doug,
It's
gonna
because
say
it's
Spider-Man.
fucking Spider-Man.
all right, I'm going to go Marvel for 5. How many movies are set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Fuck, that's not fair.
Yeah, this question all depends on when this
Get rid of
whole
it.
thing was written.
I'm
Get rid
assu-
of it.
I'm
Get rid of
hold
it.
on. If it's when Endgame was around, I'm going to say 15.
Get
I'm
rid of
assuming
it.
Endgame was when this was made.
What if
There's
they count the
20
Disney Plus
there's
shows? You're gonna be
22.
fucked.
There's 22.
23.
Yeah.
I'm going to do
All right.
racing movies for 5.
Oh, this ought to be good.
The
Hold on,
Disney
didn't
movie
wasn't you
involved
just wrong?
what?
Weren't you just wrong?
I think we passed that question.
Everybody passed on it. Everybody passed. Everybody
I know
told me
this
next
one.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
we
The
were
this
Disney
wrong.
movie involved a Volkswagen racing with the number 52.
I know.
Herbie the Love
I
Bug.
know. Yeah.
Herbie the Love Bug. Anybody dispute?
No. Not Herbie, but it was
Oh.
Shut up! It's Herbie the Love Bug. Dukes of Hazzard for
Mandela
5.
effect. Mandela
The
effect.
character Luke Duke was played by this actor. I'm assuming we're in movies, so Luke was played by Johnny Knoxville.
I'm gonna say Tom Wopat.
Okay. Anybody dispute?
Skeet Ulrich.
But he could have played Bo.
God damn it! It's the TV show. You got it, Doug.
Doug's bored.
The title of this is movies. Movies.
Yeah, sure it is.
Go ahead, Doug. Go ahead, Doug.
Let's do comedy for 500. Time for Daddy to get off his
In
rocker.
2003, Bruce Almighty, this actor portrayed God.
Who is Morgan Freeman?
I'll
Dispute me, motherfucker! Please.
Fuck,
dispute
the way
me.
these things are written, I just want to
He's
say
correct.
fucking Jim Carrey in case they fucking put Jim Carrey as the answer.
No, I've had a couple beers in me now. I've got 2 left. I'm good, man. I know I'm right on this motherfucker.
All right, yours, Doug.
Comedy for 400. I can only ride this
In
out for so long.
This 2012 film starring Anna Kendrick
Aww.
features a group of
I know
women
it.
known as the Bellas. Hold on, Bob.
I'm waiting for Doug to be wrong.
Easy.
Doug, come on, you have to know this. Everybody knows this.
I'm not. Bob knows me as well as anybody in this room, and he knows I'm not an Anna Kendrick fan, so I don't know this.
This
The
is her
answer is
biggest
Pitch
movie
Perfect.
ever, though.
Okay,
What is?
Okay, what is Scott Pilgrim versus the World? I don't know.
Correct.
Okay, Bob, say the right answer.
Pitch Perfect.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, no
I
dispute.
never saw it. Never saw it. Never saw any
They're
of them.
good. They're good.
Yeah,
Doug.
they are
Check
good.
them out. They're funny. They're fucking.
They have
funny.
They have Adam from Workaholics. there,
Bob,
right?
you're bored and
Marvel.
don't tell me to pick.
5 roles, 1 actor, 500.
Ooh, that's a good topic. I didn't even see
Bruce
that.
Nolan, Count Olaf, Riddler, Lloyd, Christmas, Stanley Ipkiss.
I know this one.
Yeah, so does
I
everybody.
know this one really well. Bob doesn't apparently. He hasn't answered it yet.
I don't know.
Oh, I do. I do. Oh, I know.
Yeah, I was gonna say John's
I
got
do
it
not
either
know.
way.
I bet. Do you not?
All right,
do you not
John,
know
your
about
answer.
Jim Carrey.
I have no
Technically,
dispute.
that's up First,
Do you
but yeah,
dispute?
it's Jim Carrey.
No, we're going in the order. This was your fucking rule, Doug. Your
Yeah, and you
rule
said
was go in
John.
order of the right side.
You said John. What do you got?
Because John is underneath Bob.
I'm already
I get it now. I get it now.
It was your rule.
I wasn't thinking of it in those terms, though, man. But you're right.
Care.
Who cares?
All right, your turn, John.
I'm going to take the same category for 400.
Forrest Gump, Woody, Dr. Roberts, Dr. Robert Langdon, Chuck
Tom
Nolan,
Hanks.
Captain John
Tom
H.
Hanks.
Okay.
Tom
I don't
Hanks.
dispute. Anybody else dispute? No. Okay, good.
I
Hanks.
never thought I'd say fuck Tom Hanks in these times, but fuck Tom
Side
Hanks.
note: that's a really easy category because you got
same
5
category.
guesses.
Same category.
Yeah, this is an easy category. Poe. Oh, I already know this. Poe, Professor Shelley, Oberon, Dewey Finn,
Oh!
and Nacho.
Fuck! I forget his name.
I know it.
Oh, I know it. I got it. Whose turn is it again?
It's Paul's turn.
Okay, Paul.
My
No,
turn.
it's John's. It's John's
If
turn.
John gets it wrong, it's
Paul's
turn.
turn. I got you. I know what it is. Oh, John, I cannot believe you're fucking stalling on this one, dude. This is you and me, bro.
Jack
Dude.
Black.
I'll allow it.
Who is it?
Jack Black.
I gave him a hint. I don't know, man.
I know I agreed with his answer. Paul didn't hear it. It's not my fault.
No,
I agree with
Nacho's the only one. Dewey Finn, Carl. Yeah, Jack.
School of
Jack
Rock
Black.
is Dewey Finn. Duel of Rock.
Dewey Finn is School of Rock. That's correct. Yeah, it's Jack Black. Okay.
I just wanted to make
Nacho
sure that
Libre,
John
yeah,
got
okay.
it. Like I
That's the
I can't hear over everybody. All right, yours, John.
Oh, you're first.
Same category.
Lucky Day, George Banks, Tom Baker, Inspector Clouseau, Freddie Benson.
This
Steve
could
Martin.
go two.
Steve
It
Martin.
could be two different people. It could be two different people.
Who did you say?
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin, George Banks. Okay, I'll say that's right. Doug.
I'm gonna say it's right, but I get
George
thrown
Banks.
up.
George Banks, fucking father of the bride.
You're right. You're right.
George Banks is saying no, and he's opening up the fucking hot dog fucking punch packet.
Okay, it's your board. God, I don't want an explanation. Can we move this along?
Same one. Same one.
John Hancock, Robert Neville, James West, Captain Steve Hiller, Agent J.
What the fuck? No idea.
I
Captain
It's not your turn, Bob.
know it's not my turn.
I know the answer though, so you're not gonna get it.
Nope.
Oh,
I
you
passed.
could get it.
I don't know.
Tommy Lee Davidson.
Tommy Lee Davidson?
No,
What's
that's
your
not.
answer?
Tommy Davidson. Two-Face from fucking Batman.
Names.
Tommy Lee Jones. Thank you. Tommy Lee Jones. That's my answer.
Man, if this
Doug?
were actual Jeopardy, you'd be fucked without lube.
Will Smith.
Oh wow.
Tommy Lee
Oh,
Jones
still
is
my
great.
board. Still my board. Awesome. What are the other categories?
You know what's crazy about that? How the fuck did Will Smith play John Hancock? Because he didn't.
He did.
No,
No,
he played Hancock, the superhero
movie
Hancock,
Hancock,
not John
yeah.
Hancock. It's two different
Let's
things.
go. Let's go comedy for 300.
This movie was originally supposed to be a musical. The main character fakes being a substitute teacher to start a band.
What is School
Are
of
you
Rock?
fucking kidding me?
Motherfucker.
Any disputes?
No.
Cool. John's winning this game.
No shit.
I would
Same
hope
category
so.
for 200.
This character displays a drinking problem on an airplane.
Oh, that could be any fucking character.
Wha- I have no idea.
Who's the who? Never mind. It's not my
I have
turn.
no, I have no
I'll-
idea. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna officially
I'll say
pass.
Billy Idol from Wedding Singer.
It's not him. He wasn't
boy.
drinking it. Bob would know the name of it, of who I'm thinking of. Billy Crudup's character in Almost Famous. It's the only thing I can think of, and I'm probably wrong because I haven't
No.
watched that movie in 20 years.
Yeah, he didn't drink on the airplane though.
So does anybody else have a guess?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's I'm gonna say it's Tyler Durden.
Who is Ted Stryker? Airplane?
I don't know.
That's Airplane.
Ted Stryker, Airplane. Yeah.
Ted Stryker is from
That
Airplane.
makes- yeah.
All right, you're
All
bored,
right.
John.
Comedy for 100.
This actor plays Mrs. Doubtfire. Just fucking.
Robin Williams.
Wow.
You're bored, John.
Who's Dr. Giggles?
Movie quotes for 100.
You shall not pass.
Lord of the Rings.
Which one?
Is that your final answer?
Which
Character,
one?
Film and actor.
Which Lord of the Rings? There's 3 different Lord of the
You
Rings.
shall not, the Fellowship of the Ring.
What
Okay,
character?
I will say Gandalf. You said Lord of the Rings.
Wait. Okay, go ahead. Whose turn is it? Because
You
it's
shall not pass. It's the movie. It's Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
Gandalf
You said-
the what? Gandalf the what? There's 2 different Gandalf.
At the time, he would have been Gandalf the Great.
No,
Wrong.
He wasn't Gandalf the White until the end.
not
You just
great
said
though. He was
great.
great, stupid.
Gray. Gandalf the Gray.
The Gray, not great.
Oh, John got it.
Yeah, thank
No
you.
shit.
I didn't think it was looking for the movie. I thought it was looking for the character.
All right, Johnny.
Let's go Disney for 100.
Which Disney character sings "Kiss the Girl"?
Sebastian.
Correct.
Yeah.
No disputes.
I've never
Board
seen
gun.
The Little Mermaid in full
Disney
honesty.
for
Not in its
200.
entirety.
What are the 3 wishes the genie cannot grant?
Oh,
More wishes, money, eternal life.
I think it's money, eternal life, and love.
can't no.
Oh, not money, not money, not money. More wishes, eternal life, and love.
Correct.
Any dispute on that?
X-nay on the wishing for more wishes.
He cannot kill anyone, bring anyone back from the dead, or
Yeah,
make
go-
anyone fall in
Yeah,
love.
go
Nobody gets
for
it then.
I don't.
Yeah.
But
nobody
one
gets
of
it. You're
those
bored,
one
John.
of those things he said is Ixnay on the wishing for more wishes. That's
Disney,
a line.
Disney 300.
What are the names of the 7 dwarves in Snow White?
Sleepy, Sneezy, Bashful, Doc, Grumpy. Sleepy, Sneezy, Bashful, Grumpy, Doc.
Two more.
Oh my God. I don't know. I give up.
Everything John said plus Dopey, and I can't think of the 7th
Oh,
one.
Dopey, yeah.
Dopey, and I'll say Sleepy.
I already
That was
said
already in
Sleepy.
there.
Did he say Sleepy?
Yep.
Does anybody know the one John didn't say?
Cave Troll.
Touchy.
I saw a porno one time where it was a live action porno of 7 dwarf
Doc, Grumpy, Happy, Sleepy,
actors
Bashful,
bang
Sneezy.
Snow
1,
White.
2,
It was like a
3,
70s or
4,
80s
5,
porn.
6. Sneezy is the
Happy.
one we didn't get.
Happy. No, Happy.
Oh, Happy? You had Sneezy? Okay.
Yeah.
You're bored,
Yeah,
John.
'cause none of us are happy.
Disney 400.
Who is the fashion designer in The Incredibles?
No idea. Never saw it.
Paul?
I can see the character. I don't know her name.
I know her first name.
Edna Mole.
Disputing that
He's
one there,
correct.
Bob?
He's correct.
Doug is on the board. Way on the board. Doug is second place.
That's
You're
right,
bored,
guys. Am I? Oh, I am. You might not be answering. Marvel for 400, please.
Which film did the Black Widow first appear?
What is Iron Man 2? I will take Marvel for 300.
Anybody dispute Iron Man 2?
No.
Me neither. Marvel 3, you said?
Yep.
While inside Stark Towers, who did Hulk say, puny god while throwing in person.
Who is Loki? Marvel for 200, please.
What is
Coming
the
back
name of What is the name of Iron Man / Spider-Man's assistant?
Pepper Pot. Who is Pepper Potts?
Final
Wrong.
answer? Final answer?
Wrong.
No, it's not my final answer.
Shut up, Bob! Bob! Stop fucking saying wrong! Stop saying it!
It's well, first of all, it's not really an assistant, it's more of a ward, but Happy Hogan.
Okay, Bob, do you dispute that?
I do.
What is the answer, Bob?
Jarvis.
I agree with Bob. Oh,
Well,
it's
you and Bob are both morons. So.
Bob, I did agree with you, though. I did agree with you.
Wow.
Yeah, Bob, he agreed with you.
Dude, you said Pepper Potts, you jackass.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
could
but
have let that go.
I realized, hey,
I realized I said the wrong answer, and then I was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, I've only been listening to you two do it to John all fucking episode. That's cool. Whatever.
We didn't do that to John once.
I don't know.
You want
I've been
Marvel?
drinking.
You want Marvel for 100?
Let's do Disney for 500. Let's throw it up a little bit. That's
Which
okay.
event?
I
It's
guess we're doing
100.
that.
There's only 100 left. I can back out. You want me to back out?
Go ahead. We'll do it for 100.
Disney?
We'll
You want
get it
Disney for 5?
Go Marvel for 100, Paul. You already opened it up, man. We've already seen the
Which
question.
Avenger does Thor team? It doesn't matter if you've seen the question. It's the answer that matters.
Hulk.
Which Avenger does Thor team up with in Thor Ragnarok? Any
Who is
disputes?
What is Bruce Banner / the Hulk? It's a
Okay.
better answer.
You're bored, Doug.
Disney 500, please.
What are the names of Cinderella's
Aw.
stepsisters?
I just know them as the Wicked Stepsisters. So I'm going to have to refer to Bob.
Cunt and cunty.
No clue.
I think I'm gonna guess Isabella and Marie. That's my guess.
Paul?
Anastasia and Drizella.
Well,
Doug,
those
you're
are
bored
horrible.
still.
Those are horrible names. Paul, before we continue, beer bottles are 10 cents where we are, right?
I have no clue. I throw them in the trash. I don't like dealing with glass.
Okay. Let's do racing movies for 400. My knowledge of Dukes of Hazzard goes only to what Tom.
This
Wolfpack.
movie starring
Yeah,
Tom
yeah.
Cruise is about the race car named after Cole Trickle. I know.
Days of
One of my
Thunder.
favorite
Real-
movies. I was gonna say it's one of my.
Real racing name was Dick Trickle. Actually, the movie was based off of. Real guy was based off of.
It was also when this movie was filmed. It was also when David Miscavige was really getting into Tom Cruise and Scientology, like getting him into Scientology big time.
Oh,
Stuff.
was
Does
it?
anybody dispute
Troy-
Days of Thunder?
Troy,
No,
yeah.
good. Doug gets the points.
That he's
Days
the
of-
reason him and what's her face divorced, Nicole
Doug
Kidman.
Borgior's.
No, they
race
met on the set of that movie.
But David Miscavige is the reason they got divorced. 300 racing movies, please.
The movie stars Matt Damon and Christian Bale.
Oh
Good
fuck
movie.
me! Is this
movie.
I got
Ferrari, Mercedes Ferrari, or Ferrari? I can't think of the name of
John,
it.
do you dispute?
I
Bob, do you
dispute.
dispute? Bob,
I do
Bob.
dispute.
What is it?
Ford versus Ferrari.
Ford
Ford
John, do you
versus-
dispute that?
Ford versus Ferrari. is
Yeah.
correct.
He's
Ford
right.
versus
He's
Ferrari.
right. It's a good movie. Great
Good
performances.
movie. Good movie.
You're bored, Bob.
Dukes of Hazzard for 400.
Son of a bitch.
The year the Dukes of Hazzard first aired was
1975.
John.
1973.
I say 1972.
I'm gonna say 1978.
1979. Nobody gets the points. You're bored.
I was closer. Though.
Dukes of Hazzard for the next lowest.
The actor who plays Uncle Jesse is.
Dead.
No, hold on. This could be what. First
He's
of
not
all-
wrong. He's not wrong.
First of all, he's not wrong. But first of all, this could be 4 or 5 different people because they've made a couple different Dukes of Hazzard movies, and this is a movie Jeopardy.
It's not.
I
It's
think
not the
they're talking
movie.
about a TV
We already
show.
established
I
it's a
think they're
TV
talking
show.
about a TV
Paul
show.
got pissed about it because Paul said the
Whatever.
movie actor who played Luke, and you said the TV, and you got it right. So it's not a movie.
Okay.
It's talking about the
I'm
TV show.
still right because he's dead.
Dude, it's not my fault. I'm taking my vaccine right now. Give me a
John,
break.
do you have an answer?
No.
I don't have an answer. I can't think of the actor's name. Doug?
I'm gonna say Willie Nelson.
Yeah, that's who played it in the movie. So, Denver Pile. John, Bob, you're bored.
I will take racing movies for 200.
Thank you.
The series of racing movies starring Paul Walker and Vin Diesel.
Fast and the Furious series.
The first 6 are amazing. The first 6 are so good.
None of them are good. Shut
You're
up.
bored. You're bored, bud.
Fuck you. They're entertaining.
No,
Huh?
they're not.
100.
Dickhead,
Thank you.
Yes, they are.
The movie features a long car chase involving a 1967 Shelby GT500.
Oh, I
What
know,
is
I
Bullet?
know. Nope.
What?
Oh.
It's
He's-
Bullet.
Fuck, he's not wrong. That's not fair. I know that's not the answer they're looking for,
Well-
but he's
well-
not wrong.
Gone in 60 seconds.
I agree
Bullet
with
was
John,
the first
but
one.
you're not wrong either. You're right in the Steve McQueen aspect, but I bet you the answer they're looking for is Gone in 60 Seconds. Doug, do you have anything different than that?
I'm agreeing with Bob because that's a far superior film.
And it was
John
what it was
60
based off of.
Yeah.
I know that's shitty. That's
I
shitty.
win.
That's such
John.
Dukes of Hazzard for 200.
But you're still
The
a
car
loser.
Bo and Luke Duke drove has this nickname.
The General.
Final answer is the General Lee, and it's
Yeah,
a
he was
1969.
Yeah.
It's a
No.
1969 Dodge Challenger.
The General.
I got that.
General Lee.
All got it.
The General.
Dukes of Hazzard. What make and model of car? It's a 1969 Dodge
Christ.
Charger. Any dispute to a 1969 Dodge Charger?
No.
Nope.
No.
I got it.
There used to be a replica of it out on Cape Coral Parkway for the
I
longest
owned
time.
one in Florida.
All right. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow at noon. I
Yeah.
gotta go. I gotta finish this dinner. All
right.
And I'm off to work.
And I gotta go. It's been on for 3 hours. Love you guys. See you in the morning.
Love you.
Bye, guys.
All
All right,
right.
so
Well,
let's-
this is.
hold on. I gotta set shit up for our outro because I know you want the outro.
I've got like 2 full fucking beers, and I threw a beer cap away. I want to put.
You're
this
the
in
one who wanted me to do this outro.
Yeah, I know. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, I'm. I don't want to throw away my beer. I was looking for a cap to put on it, because I don't want to finish this right now. I'm fucking hammered.
All right. Final thought of the week as we close out, and I will play your song starting now.
Final thought. Turn the volume down just a little.
I can't control the volume on this, Doug.
Okay. Final thought for the week. Love one another. We're living in crazy times right now. Uncertain times. Don't believe what the TV tells you. Matter of fact, turn the TV off unless you're watching scripted drama or comedy. And just be kind. There's nothing that comes from being a dickhead. There's just nothing. Kindness is all we got. Time is limited. We're gonna die. My final thought is be kind to everybody, regardless of who you are or what you believe or who you love. I don't care. And the song just cut out.
Yeah, I know. I paused it so I could talk because I didn't want to have this talk over. Play
Yeah, I
over
don't know
me,
why
and I
you
can't
played it
control-
right away. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
'cause it was
okay.
gonna-
Okay.
I wanted to play it underneath, but there's no volume control on this Bandcamp site you sent me.
Okay. Start from the beginning. We'll go from there.
My final thought of the week is anybody who watches this, thank you for watching. Hope you're entertained. Like Doug said, be kind to one each other. Enjoy each other's company. We're not here for a long time. Let's not spend all of our time squabbling and disputing with each other. Let's enjoy each other's company because everybody's story ends the same with death. Don't take advantage of every moment you have while you're here.
What's your favorite Marvel movie? What was your last favorite Marvel movie? Was it Endgame? You always
It's a
talk
toss
about
up between Infinity Wars and Endgame.
Look up.
I
at the
like them
top-
both.
Look up in the top left-hand corner of your screen. We've just toppled the fucking runtime.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that. I think that's cool as fuck, man. I like the fact that the last 2 episodes you and I've done have breaking the time barrier. I like it because, and I'm not impeding on your final thought. I don't want you to think that. But I like it because it means that we're having a good time. It means that the people who are joining us are having a good time. And I think I hope to think that the few people who are watching us are having a good time. And I think that's the point. I think you and I agree wholeheartedly on our final thought of the episode is, just be kind to everybody, man. Like, time is limited. There's nothing that comes from sowing dissent. There's nothing good that comes from sowing dissent. Nothing good comes from being a piece of shit. I'm not going to shame anybody for fetishes or habits or addictions. Everybody should be included. Everybody should have an opinion. Everybody is fucking valid. The fact that I have to say that's the thing that makes me crazy about the time we live in, because everybody started hollering at me like Black Lives Matter, believe all women. It's like I never felt that way otherwise. I never thought Black lives didn't matter. I always thought they mattered. Like it just felt like I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant now. It just feels like it's a crazy push to like kind of like split everybody apart. And there's no reason.
That's the world is for some reason the world is trying to divide everyone right now, and I don't understand it.
Yeah.
It's real easy to call for unity. It's another thing to practice it. Just love everybody. That's all you got to do.
You said
you don't have to carry a picket sign. You don't have to be an asshole to people. You don't have to call for the imprisonment of somebody who disagrees with your beliefs. Just say, hey, you live your life, I live my life. And if we can come together and share food and drinks and laughs, what a great bonus. If not, leave us the fuck alone. We'll leave you the fuck alone.
You said something in text about the decline of the Roman civilization, and that it's like that's the thing that I would like to say too as we're going out on this episode is people, instead of reading taglines or buzzwords or hot takes that you see that are like 5 minutes, like take the time to like read shit, like really research history, and we're on the fucking fast track to becoming a civilization that becomes a legend.
The reason I sent the decline of the Roman civilization is I'm not saying it is the reason for the decline of the Roman civilization, but at the end of the Roman Empire, that's when pedophilia became really big. And that's also when gender androgyny became really big. There was in the end of the Roman Empire, there was a lot of trans. There was a lot, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Live your life. I don't care. Just don't try to force your life on me.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they tried to make it law. They tried to get Roman law to pass and make everybody unequal and shit like that. And I'm just saying, look into it, read it.
God bless the Clintons.
Yep. All right. I think we're good to say we're ready to get out of here, huh?
Dude, this has been a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun.
All right. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll be back next Saturday. Catch us tomorrow on Brothers from Other Mothers at noon. Check out our Facebook and Twitter. Links in the description. They'll keep you updates there on the show.
Actually, it's 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, noon Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow, YouTube channel right here.